21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One.
Team USA's Katarina Macario has left Chelsea to join the NWSL's San Diego Wave. Sources tell Sportico that the midfielder will earn nearly $8 million in fully guaranteed money over the next 5 seasons. It's believed to be the largest contract in women's soccer history based on total value and reportedly runs through the 2030 season. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcast. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase with the Capital One Venture X Business Card. Big purchasing power means you can spend more and earn more. The Capital One Venture X Business Card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Maps app that came with your phone? It's fine if you enjoy waiting and guessing and inefficient routes. Or you could use MapQuest. MapQuest is back with live directions, real-time traffic, and faster routes. It moves when you move. Best of all, no printer needed. No paper. No more missed turns. Just you and the app. Get there fast with MapQuest. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com. MapQuest, still getting you there.
There's a new sale in town. Get your Texas on at Specs. Cheers to savings.
Right now at Steel Round Rock GMC, the road to a new GMC has never been better. You get the Steel Standard, over $1,400 of protection for free, plus huge discounts, like $13,000 off 2026 GMC 1500s or $5,000 off 2026 GMC Canyons. We've also made it easier than ever to find a vehicle to fit your budget, like a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 lease for just $249 a month, because everything we do is driven by you. Steel GMC and Round Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
Matchups are here, and Kalshi is giving away $1 billion for a perfect bracket. No one's ever done it. The odds are about 1 in 9.2 quintillion. Kalshi is also giving $1 million to the top bracket and $1 million to charity. It's free to enter. No deposit or purchase required. Entries closed before the round of 64 tips Thursday. Download the app or visit Kalshi.com to read the full rules and enter. Use code iHeart when you sign up. Eligibility requirements apply. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Participants must be 18 years of age or older. Not available outside the United States, in New York, or in Florida. Contest not endorsed by or associated with the NCAA. Official rules apply. See Kalshi.com/billion for more information.
The iHeart Podcast Award goes to...
Our 2026 iHeart Podcast Award winners have been announced.
Oh, wow.
Discover the must-listen podcasts that are setting trends and shaping culture, including Podcast of the Year winner, Giggly Squad.
We want to thank the Gigglers.
Thank you, iHeart. Thank you to our team. We love you guys so much. Thank you.
Comedy, crime, news, science, pop culture, and so much more. Listen to all of the winners now when you search Podcast Awards on the free iHeart app.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
From the University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio, it's the NCAA First Four matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Okatitis out front, Popey in the corner. Cam Heide triggers up a three. It's good. So the Longhorns have knocked down 3 threes from 3 different guys, 9 unanswered, and Texas grabs a 9-2 lead. Dayton cross-court pass. Wilcher driving in, floats it with the right hand and score. Now to Mark, 5 on the shot clock. Tramon retreating with the dribble, fires up a contested 3, and he drains it. Tramon Mark, his second made 3 of this first half. Longhorns have their largest lead of the first half. They're up 8, 22-14. Here's Holloman, had it taken out of his mitts, knocked loose by Weaver in. Tramon Mark lays it home. Bocatype's good pass along the baseline, goes up. Might have got popped, missed the shot, but it's pulled down by Weaver. 7 on the shot clock. Bounce pass again. Bocatype turn around and lays it in. Swain on to the left side. Up top with it. Trying to drive in on Williams in the paint. Goes around, driver missed it, but there's Cody for a follow slam. Here's Swain. He's going to drive into the corner to Mark. 8 on the shot clock. Tramon pulls it out. Down to 6, down to 5. Mark down to 3. Spins, turns, shoots. Good! Mark, big turnaround mid-range to put Texas up 4. Half a minute to go. The game is tied. 18.3 left. Texas 66, North Carolina State 66. Inbounded to Jordan Pope. The defense drops off. Pope into the front court. To the right side, off to Kendall Weaver. 10 seconds to go. Cody needs help. He's got to get rid of it. Does to Weaver. Down to 7 seconds. Here's Mark. Tramon down to 4 to 3. Puts it up. It is good. It's good. 1 second to go. Tramon Mark knocks it down. And Texas is up 2 with a tick left on the clock. Nick Cody will defend against the inbounds pass. 1.1 to go. It's handed to Copeland. Runs along the baseline. Looks. Still looks. Still looking. Still looking. And throws it down the floor. It is caught. The three-point shot was blocked. And the Texas Longhorns survive in advance, as is the theme of the NCAA tournament. The Longhorns are going west to Portland. It'll be a late-night flight, but it will be a jubilant one, as the Longhorns have earned a 68-66 win over the NC State Wolfpack and a ticket to Portland to take on BYU on Thursday night.
You heard the highlights. Now it's time to talk about it. It's the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns are still dancing. And alongside the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, joining us as a guest here for this opening couple of segments. My name is Jake Herman, here to talk with you for the next few hours about this game and much, much more from around the 40 acres. Mark couldn't have asked for any more different of a game than the first time Texas played NC State back in Maui around Thanksgiving. But at the end of the day, right, in March, all that matters, you win, you live to fight another day.
Well, they're 2-0. They're 2-0 against NC State. So I'll take that. But, you know, one of the things that I look at is the fact that Texas played them 2 different styles. And we talked about them not being able to have a strong defensive effort, and they had a strong defensive effort. Now we clean up the fouls, and maybe BYU goes down and ruin my bracket for 2 rounds.
The Longhorns got to Portland this morning. That was during the morning kickoff show, which you and I co-hosted today. I got to fill in for your good buddy, Mike Hardball Harge, who I'm sure is missing out. Probably has a little bit of FOMO today, being all the way out in Arizona.
I'm very sure that Harge has heard the show and said, "Man, I better get back. That Jake Herman.
Oh, stop!
Holy cow! He might steal my spot."
World's strongest, and then 2 of the world's skinniest hosting with the last couple of days, BK and I, not to steal his joke. I thought of it. BK said it first. Got to give him his flowers there. But no, it was a lot of fun, and we're going to continue to discuss this Texas Longhorns game. We got some special guests coming up later this hour. We'll visit with lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford, get some of his takeaways on last night's performance, and kind of take us inside the locker room, right, for what it's like having to win and now turn around and play on such short rest, because the Longhorns, they don't just get to sleep in today in Portland. They've got media to deal with and open practice and all of those kinds of obligations.
Yeah, if anybody knows the rigors of what happens in the Final Four leading up into it, is TJ Ford. being that he was able to be a guy that made it to the Final Four and was a Naismith winner. And I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him and finding where he sees this Texas team and how far he sees them going.
Yeah, we'll get into kind of those bracket forecasts as the show moves along. We'll also hear some sound bites from head coach Sean Miller, starting with his conversation with the media after the game as to what made the difference for his team on the defensive end of the floor, right? Because, Mark, you and I have talked about this on our respective shows all season long, the troubles that Texas has on the defensive end. Is it execution? Is it focus? What does it come down to? Here's how proud Sean Miller was of the way his team defended yesterday.
You know, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I'm going to be accurate and I'm right. This might be like the first game that I can really look at and say we won because our defense. You know, we've been able to score at a very high level. Tonight we didn't. Credit NC State. Also, I think just kind of the magnitude of the moment, you know, playing in a quick turnaround, you're in the tournament. You know, we had some turnovers and plays that just, and I'm sure they did as well. But one big thing when you play NC State, this year's team, is you have to defend the three-point shot. And if you really look at the game, until the very, very end, it's the thing we did the very best. And that's what I think we can hang our hat on as we leave here, that we knew we could not allow them to get going from the three-point line. And I think they made 3 or 4 really great shots at the end. I think all of them were contested. But for the other 38 minutes, I mean, we really probably did as good of a job in that area as maybe anyone has. So that's the one thing I feel good about tonight's game. That in our rebounding, you know, I thought we really created some second shots. It wasn't always our big guys. It was our guards too. And those 2 areas probably are the reason that we advanced.
And he's right. That was the Longhorns' best performance of the year in terms of defensive efficiency, and the rebounding by the guards was huge, to the tune of 10 for Kendall Weaver, a career high, his first career double-double.
Man, I was so proud of him. It was like watching one of the elite defenders like Caruso, you know, a guy that hustles just so hard. And I mean, he didn't block a shot with a shoe. I was
going to say, Kendall kept his shoes on.
But nonetheless, it's the effort and the getting up and down and staying in front of your man that really amazed me about him.
There were long stretches of this game, Mark, where the Texas offense was not its typical self. In fact, we were kind of wondering this morning what was a little bit off about Dalen Swain's game. Why was Jordan Pope settling for some of those jumpers?
Home, man. Like being in front of like 25 of your family members, you know, maybe more than that, with acquaintances and people that know you. He was tight. And I'm thinking about it in my mind's eye. He didn't look free. He didn't play free. You know, Mark, he was out there playing free. And if we can get him to loosen up and go out there and play free, like I said, there may be an upset in mind over BYU.
Yeah, I suppose that's the optimistic look, right? Dalen Swain, even though he was not his typical self in terms of converting at the rim, just 1 of 4 at the rim on the advanced stats box score last night, 1 of 6 from 2-point range. Those aren't Dalen Swain numbers, 5 turnovers.
Yep.
Yet 8 for 9 at the free throw line, found a way to chip in 13 points, found a way to help Texas hang on late with that clutch pair.
Yeah, and I think that the thing that he's a guy that you can see him taking 11, 12 shots, minimum. That where he owns the game, where he feels like, this is my team, I'm the best player on it, I'm going to go out here and help my team win and be the reason that my team went. He did not assume that role because of, you know, him feeling under the microscope and not wanting to look like a ball hog. Like, I guarantee you that Coach Miller would have loved it if you would have took 11 shots and you would have made 7 of them. That would have put him at his average. So he's got to go and be him.
That he does. And the upside for Texas, right? You were able to win kind of without the best version of Swain. You were able to win with your defensive effort. There was a time, Mark, I looked up, saw Texas had 0 fouls with more than 8 minutes elapsed. I thought, who is this team that I'm watching tonight?
These people?
Right.
They made up for it at the end, but outside of just a few bad fouls and 4, extremely bad turnovers, I thought the game was pretty clean. And if it's 8 or 9 things that happen in the entire 40 minutes, then like Coach Miller said, I think they did pretty darn good.
That they did. One more piece of sound we'll bring you before the break, and that is Tramon Mark, who was the hero with both the clutch, a couple of clutch deep contested mid-range twos, one to put the Longhorns in front with under a minute to go, the next to ultimately win the game with less than 2 seconds on the clock. He was asked after the game, where does that game winner rank among the 5 that he's been a part of in his college career, going all the way back to Houston?
This one is definitely first for me, just the way the game was going, the way the game felt. We had a big lead. They started making some shots and then was able to silence the crowd with a big shot like that. So I would rank it first for me, but yeah.
One more from Mark on the team psyche when things kind of got close late, when the Longhorns had trouble breaking the press, saw that 8-point lead slip away.
I mean, in games like that, your emotions can waver up and down, but I feel like throughout the whole game, our team, we kept our emotions in check. We did what we needed to do. Credit to them. They hit some tough shots. It's not like we were just had mistakes. They just made tough shots down the stretch to cut the lead. But, we kept our composure and we got the win.
I think there are some things Texas can do to close out games better, but all in all, right, it didn't totally get away from them.
Yeah, I think Dickie V was right. Run a fly route. Have those guys streaking. And then in one of the plays that Coach Miller drew up, he had Cody go up the middle, and Cody was out there by himself. And Mark ended up turning around and kicked the ball off his foot. But that was a play that was drawn up to trust the spacing. It was bad spacing. Like, you had all the guys in one spot, and I think this just nerves, man. Like, being in a situation like that. I haven't been in a pressure situation in a while, but I remember when I did have pressure situations, I was trained to deal with them. But like right now, being a little rusty and being out of practice, I could possibly make some mistakes.
Maybe that's what coaches talk about when they say the first 4 is an advantage in the next round, because now that you've been in that pressure cooker, now all of a sudden you're the 11 seed. The pressure is shifted over to the 6 seed, who's maybe expected to win, who's maybe enjoying the benefits of extra rest, but having to acclimate to the tournament environment on the fly, whereas the Longhorns are already going to be in that mindset.
Most definitely. That's a great analogy. That first 3 games that you play, you get all of that out. You work out all the blood bugs, and now you have all these guys playing free. I'm curious to see how Texas will look against BYU, because I think that whatever bugs and nerves they had, hopefully they got rid of them.
Hopefully they did. All right, we need a quick break, and we'll come back and talk a little more about last night's victory later this hour. We'll visit with lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford right here on the Craig Way Show, Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Jake Herman, Mark Henry back with you in a moment.
We honor the biggest stars from all genres of music that you love listening to all year long.
Don't miss our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Watch live on Fox Thursday, March 26th.
Starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Trashy is a proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. This spring, turn your closet clutter into rewards with the Take Back Bag. Learn more and get started at trashy.io.
Hey, it's Howie Mandel, and I am inviting you to witness history as me and my Howie Do It gaming team take on Gilly the King and Wallow 267's $1 million gaming in an epic Global Gaming League video game showdown. 4 rounds, multiple games, 1 winner, plus a halftime performance by multi-platinum artist Travie McCoy. Watch all the action and see who wins and advances to the championship match against Neo right now at globalgamingleague.com. That's globalgamingleague.com. everybody gains.
For over 30 years, CertaPro Painters has been part of countless memories. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home, beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's Truck Month at Group 1 Ford of South Austin, where transparent pricing means no dealer add-ons. Get up to $16,000 off a 2025 F-150 or 0% for 60 months, or a brand new 2025 Ford Ranger for just $29,988. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, 5000 South I-35 Frontage Road, or Group1FordofSouthAustin.com. Up to $60,000 off on select 2025 Ford F-150 models. Includes dealer discount, package discount, retail, and bonus cash. Not all customers qualify for 0%. 2025 Ford Ranger includes dealer discount, bonus customer cash, and TM bonus cash. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
Running for office means having something important to say. Radio is the most personal medium out there. Voters hear the real you, exactly the way you want to be heard. No filters, no AI, just your voice, your message. And it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Be on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
Pickleball is on the rise. 46.8 million players nationwide, with a projected $5 billion industry by 2033. Looking to be part of this exciting growth? Crush Yard offers a unique franchise opportunity, redefining the pickleball experience with indoor court, exceptional dining, craft drinks, and entertainment. This is your chance to invest in a rapidly growing brand shaping the future of leisure. For a limited time, you can own a piece of the action. Visit CrushYardFranchising.com to learn more. Crush Yard. Eat, drink, crush.
It's Matt and Bowen here from Las Culturistas. Celebrating 10 years of the podcast, we were joined by a very special guest, Nicole Kidman.
Download and listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
You know that water in our lakes is a precious resource that we can all work together as a community to save. Austin Water offers simple ways to use less and make a big impact around your home and yard. Find your watering day, explore rebates, and get more tips at austinwater.org.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-9336. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-9336. That's 800-444-9336. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-444-9336.
Burnt Orange, Bebo, and Ball. Craig Way is talking it all. Now back to the Craig Way Show on 1300 The Zone. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud, women want me, get around since I was born. Never tolerate, that's okay, and you may look the other way, but we can try to understand, and do your time to make no man.
On a Yacht Rock Wednesday with the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, I'm Jake Herman. What is more fitting than this? The Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
Staying alive. Little yacht rock, I'm digging it.
Little disco.
You know what? I almost forgot that one of the songs that you remember, Baby Come Back.
Oh, yeah. That's I think that's in a regular rotation on UT women's basketball games. Yeah, if it's a rule of thumb, if it's in the rotation for UT baseball, women's basketball broadcast, those bumps you hear in between the commercials, Craig probably approved it.
Okay.
Probably likes it. It's handpicked a little window into Craig's music taste, whether he'll admit it or not.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and pull up some of my Yacht Rock soundtracks and do that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we'll give you some return cuts to your Yacht Rock taste, Mark Henry. We're continuing to recap Texas's win over NC State. They're going to get BYU next out in Portland. That game tips off at 6:25 Central Time, 4:25 there in Portland. And out in Portland right now, we're going to talk to Craig Way at a little bit past 3:10, about 3:15, get his thoughts after a long night flying, because Texas, after that, will have a press conference and an open practice. The NCAA didn't do them many favors with this start time. They could have pushed it later. They could have put the Longhorns a little closer to Dayton. Instead, not only do you have the red-eye flight, but you've got a start in the third window of the day rather than the fourth.
But you know what? Routine is usually favorite, but I think that is best to get after it. Hit the ground, get some rest, go get something to eat, do a little run through, walk through, talk about the things that has made you successful, and really focus on not doing the things that have hindered you. They do that, they're fine. I'd rather it be that way, to just get after it rather than have to wait all day and play a 7:00 at night game.
I can understand that. I also think there's a side of it to where, the rest is valuable to kind of equalize things out. Here's what Sean Miller had to say about this. He was asked kind of what we were talking about last segment. Can a win last night help you in Portland?
Look, I haven't really looked ahead too much. I know it's a long trip from Dayton, Ohio to Portland, Oregon. I get that. I know the time of our departures, midnight. I also know what that means. And I know that tomorrow we have media and we're going to be in the West. And, so we have a long night ahead of us. But I do think there's power in playing a game in this tournament. I've referenced it 3 or 4 times where sometimes a player or a team is not themselves. It's just kind of like I don't want to say jitters, but March Madness looms big. I mean, we fought literally from game 1 when we played Duke and Charlotte to make this tournament. Finally, you're here, and now you're close to advancing, and you got to make big plays like Tramon Mark did. So, I think that our nerves sometimes can settle through game 1. You can gain confidence. You already have one game in your to your advantage, but we're going to have to play a really good team, and we're going to definitely have to play better than we played tonight. We know that, but we get that opportunity. That's the thrill of it.
Get that opportunity. Still dancing. I would like to sit here and say that it's going to be easy, but I know it's not. I watched BYU play a couple of times this year because I wanted to see the Spencer play. I just wanted to, kind of the first time I saw him play, he had 41 points and like 6 and 6. I was like, good Lord, this dude is good.
And he probably looked like he could play another 2 games.
And he was so fresh, and the pick and roll is going to come, and a lot of times he tries to split. So I'm sure they've game planned for him. They know what he does. They saw him just like I did. When he tries to split, you just have to get big and let him try to run over you. I don't think that and Texas has a couple of guys that are going to be defending him, or not as big as he is, but close. So to have Mark and
Swain,
defending him is going to be good. And I think that for your money, like, I wouldn't mind seeing Weaver on him, just nagging him, getting under his shirt, like, being a Dennis Rodman of the team. When you can throw a couple of different people at him, one, you have a less likely chance that you're going to foul one guy out. But then you have him in his head like, okay, this is the way he defends me. So I would throw everything at him. Kitchen sink, a spatula, You know, might hit him with a spoon.
Couple of whisks.
Definitely, you got to whisk him up a little bit.
A little bit of what Tramon Mark was cooking last night with the post game, the celebration.
Hey, listen, if we can get some let him cook tonight, I'm down for it. I mean tomorrow.
Yeah, again, Texas, quick turnaround. They got to Portland this morning. They'll play again a little over 24 hours from right now. We need another break, and then we will get some perspective on the Longhorns from someone who knows a thing or two about deep tournament runs. TJ Ford with us on the other side of this break. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The road to a national championship starts now, and every game matters. Download the new DraftKings Predictions app and make real money predictions on all the March tournament matchups. There's always something to predict. Will a one seed stay dominant? Will a Cinderella story bust brackets? Who survives and advances? Make your pick before tip-off or jump in live as the action unfolds. DraftKings Predictions is a new, easy-to-use app to predict the outcomes of sports and real-world events. Now available in California, Texas, Florida, and other states. Download DraftKings Prediction app today with code AM1300. New customers trade $5 and get 50 predictions dollars with promo code AM1300. Don't just feel it, predict it with DraftKings Predictions. The crown is yours. DraftKings Predictions is a CFTC registered introducing broker. Event contract trading involves substantial risk of loss. One per new customer. Opt-in required. Non-withdrawable predictions dollars expire in 1 year. Ends April 6, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Hey guys, I'm Erin. And I'm Elena from Round Rock's newest and soon to be best sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. We have a Texas-sized menu with everything from handmade onion rings to choice steaks, 32 ice-cold draft beers and craft cocktails, plus 69 big screen TVs. If that's not enough, how about the hottest Rowdy Cowgirls in Texas? So saddle up and hit the trail to Rowdy Cowboy, located off I-35 north of Loop 45 in Round Rock. And help us get rowdy.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring a check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert, or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry! This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You'll do anything to get everyone to the bar for some March hoops. Like sending countless highlight reels to build anticipation, lending one of your jerseys to a friend in need, and getting everyone's order ready for the bar. But that's the easy part, because it's always a bucket of Bud Lights. The clean, crisp taste that makes every get-together at the bar worth doing anything for. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Steele Hyundai in Kyle is your destination for transparent pricing and customer value, plus the Steele Standard. We add over $1,400 in protection for free. Drive home a sleek new 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE lease for just $199 a month, or upgrade to the versatile 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE lease for only $259 a month. Plus, every new Hyundai comes backed by America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile, and owner assurance. Everything we do is driven by you. Steele Hyundai in Kyle or SteelHyundaiKyle.com.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend. All commercial free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Yacht Rock, and make it a preset now.
Got a thought?
Just wanted to chime in.
No hold times here.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Tap the red talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app and send us a voice note instantly.
I do agree with that guess.
A stress-free way to join the convo on your own time. Try it now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns. Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Voice.
No, it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow.
We continue on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. Jake Herman in for Craig Way, joined as well by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, who is really excited to introduce our next guest.
I'm very, very excited to introduce a Naismith winner, a guy that is arguably, and I would say not arguably, the best point guard that's ever played at the University of Texas, a man that went to the Final Four, played great in the NBA, and has done so much for the development of young kids that love basketball in the Houston and Austin areas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. T.J. Ford.
Mark, what's up, baby, man? I appreciate
What's going on,
it, Mark.
TJ?
Man, doing good, man. I appreciate you giving me one shot at it today, baby.
Well, TJ, just wanted to start off by getting your initial impressions, your takeaways after watching that late night thriller for Texas against BYU. What's sticking with you most here the morning after?
Look, you found a way to get a win. I think that's the ultimate thing when you're looking at the college basketball and you're looking at the NCAA tournament. And you also can see how fast things could shift in a heartbeat when having a league and teams come back and have a chance to win. And when you get into the tournament, you need everything to go right. And obviously, when you look at down the stretch, we gave North Carolina State the opportunity to get back to the game with, I think, probably a minute and 15 seconds to go. And almost gave them a chance to even execute and coming out with an upset with a win. But we was able to, pressure burst pipes, what they say. And you had a young fella went to the free throw line, and he missed one of those free throws and gave us an opportunity to go down with no pressure to make a play. If you miss it, you go into overtime. So different scenario. If the guy makes the free throw, who knows what happens, who knows what the pressure will look like, and who knows what play we would better execute. But we was able to pull off a win, which we had control of that game most of the way, and we get the advance.
TJ, Swain had a lot of family members in town. He's from Columbus, Ohio, which is not far from Dayton, a little over an hour. And he didn't look, you talk about pressure busting pipes, he looked like it rattled him a little bit. What do you do now? Now that he's out of there, we don't have to worry about that hometown pressure. But wouldn't you think that he would have an attitude and want to prove that he is who he is in this next game?
Nah, I don't think he played bad. I just think when you get to the tournament, these teams have an opportunity to sit here and really put a real game plan together to try to take away your best players. I think other guys stepped up. I mean that's part of having team basketball. Weaver was the player of the game of being able to get multiple offensive rebounds, came up with big plays after big plays. And I think when you look at Swain, he's been familiar playing because he was in a playing game in the same building last year. So, having his family in there, I don't look at that he played bad. That's just the way the cards was dealt for him last night. And you got to give credit to North Carolina State having a good game plan to pretty much just try to, take him out of the game in a unique way and provide less opportunities for him. And I just think having Texas and having the experience right now, that kicked in, having Trademark, having Pope, having Weaver, these guys who have experience and been in big-time games before and know what it feels like to be in this situation as a Longhorn as well. So I would be surprised if you have another game like that playing against BYU. I think the game plan will be totally different because BYU is bigger, have more size. So I think he'll be able to have his more one-on-one opportunities and be able to attack guys on closeouts like he's been able to do, throughout this entire season. But you definitely going to need him to be able to play, and perform at a higher level as an impact player in order for us to, really do some damage here in this tournament.
TJ, did you fill out a bracket?
I'm going to do my bracket today. I didn't care to do it for the 2 play-in game. Now I can get straight to it and focus on it and see if I can master this doggone bracket, which is very difficult to execute and to do, right? Especially if you don't know all the teams in college basketball.
Perfectly. It's never been a perfect bracket done. I have Duke coming out of the East. I have Florida coming out of the South, beating Houston, and I have Iowa State beating Michigan, coming out of the Midwest, and I have Arkansas coming out of the West. And as a guy like Acuff at Arkansas, I think this is a place for him to really prove himself. When we mention great point guards in this part of the country, they always throw TJ Ford in there because it's justified. Do you think that Acuff is going to be one of those guys that's going to be able to turn it up and show his worth in this tournament?
Oh, man, he's been unbelievable. He had a great season as a young kid, freshman kid coming in college basketball, and he's been able to, sustain his play throughout the season. Obviously, you hear so much about U of H and Kingston Flemings and how well he's been playing, and some of those other guys. But Acuff here at the second half of the SEC has been very, very dominant, and he's putting his name right back in the mix as one of the top point guards in the country, which he's been playing solid all year. And look, the tournament is guys of what level they are as far as NBA basketball players, as far as lottery, as far as draft status. And I think when you look at him playing Coach Cal and what they've been able to do within the SEC conference, you got to give a lot of credit to those guys because they, have the best roster, the best group, and I don't think they was picked to win it at all. So for what he's been able to do and turn Arkansas around so fast and still become, the top dog in the SEC, it just shows the type of coach Cal is. He can get players. I just think it made any college coach job that much easier because he's the extension of that coach. And it's rare to find a guard that can actually be that extension of this coach, especially in today's time with that the role of a point guard is totally different than what it was when I was playing basketball, right? If you can't be a scorer, it's hard to be a point guard in today's time. So being able to be aggressive, being able to score the basketball and create advantages for yourself, it also opens up more windows for your teammates. And that's how great these young men has been in this game of being able to score, being able to assist, and also sometimes, man, just being on the court, giving other guys other opportunities to attack because the defense is predicated on stopping you.
TJ, this is a deep field in this tournament of guys that can come out and be the number 1 pick or even be in the top 5. I look at everybody in the top 5 as being a team that came up, with Acuff, with Boozer, Abanya, the guy from Houston that we just mentioned, Flemings. Like there's so many guys that really can do it. If you had to pick one to start with, who would you pick?
Point guard, who I would go with today?
You have to be a point guard. It could be Peterson. It could be
Well, me, if I had to start with anybody today, if you take away that he hasn't been dealing with injuries and kind of getting a lot of backlash about, going in and out of the game. I think the best person that I think will have a lot of success because he has size, has skills, has the temperament, has the demeanor, has the competitiveness, and he's a gamer. And I think he's a tool to both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Out of Kansas.
So Peterson would be the guy that you would pick.
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy here, you know what it is when you have injuries, and a hamstring injury or whatever. I think something with his hamstring to start off the season he was dealing with. We know those things linger when you still try to play through it and you're not 100%, and those things you'll deal with the entire season. And I just give him a lot of credit for just being able to try to fight through it. Obviously, you're going to have the basketball fans. You're going to have people get upset when he has to check of the game or they feel like has another agenda of just going through it, which I never agree with and I never paid much close attention to. Just being a ball player and a guy that played with injuries, his entire career. So I look at a guy fighting through it. I look at when he gets on the court, he produces, and I mean, him not being 100%, he's still one of the best players in college basketball, and he's been able to do it at a high level when his body's allowed him to do it.
No doubt about that. TJ Ford here with us on 1300 The Zone. While we have you, I want to get your thoughts on the position that Texas finds itself in right now, because you come off of last night's win, have to turn around very quickly, fly on a red eye out west to Portland. How should Texas be handling these next 36 hours to try and regroup and get ready for BYU?
I mean, they get enough time to prepare themselves. I think while they was on the trip, the coaches obviously is on the plane getting prepared for the next scouting report and being able to figure out the best way and the best scheme that's going to give us a chance to play against a good BYU team. And obviously, it's a showdown between the SEC and the Big 12. I don't think it has a big difference whether you're on a red eye or where you got to play at. It's March Madness, and every kid want to be part of March Madness, and they get an opportunity to be on that court when majority of the D1 schools are at home already on vacation and on a break. And it's win or go home. So I just think they get it to be on center stage where it's going to be a national game because you're playing against AJ at BYU, and you know what type of tension that brings, and you know everybody in the country is going to be watching his first game in the NCAA tournament, because we know this will be the last time we get to see this kid here in March because he's going strictly to the NBA. So all eyes that it's going to be a great opportunity for any player to step on that court right here in March Madness, knowing that you're going to have all 30 NBA teams watching his kids play. And you want to play your best basketball, and you want to be able to give yourself a chance to live out a dream, because we got a bunch of guys that are seniors, and we got guys that are going to be able to, go through pre-draft and try to get into the draft. So it's going to be important they play well and take advantage of the opportunity of playing against a guy that's potentially the number one draft pick.
No doubt about it. TJ, thanks so much for the time, for the expertise. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Talk to you soon.
That is TJ Ford, lifetime Longhorn and former Naismith Award winner, led Texas to the Final Four back in 2003. Mark will be back to wrap up hour number one of the show.
All right.
In a moment.
Are you ready for the madness? You know the type of madness I'm talking about at this time of year. Watching all of that outstanding postseason basketball. And are you happy with your home entertainment setup? Well, you've heard me tell you about my friend Tom McKay and Audiovisual Consultations, and that they're the best in the business when it comes to setting up your home entertainment system. However, Tom and his great staff at AV Consultations has expanded beyond TVs and home theater experiences. For example, they are now dealers and custom installers of Foresight golf simulators. So if you're wanting to improve your golf game, AV can get you hooked up with a Foresight simulator that can do the trick. AV Consultations now also offers full home and landscape lighting and automatic lighting control. But you're wanting to see those hoops light up this time of year, right? Give Tom and his staff a call at 512 255-8678 or find them at avconsultations.com. Let Tom McKay and Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
The rankest bulls in the sport are waiting. This is professional bull riding. Watch it live as we unleash the beast this weekend from Indianapolis, only on Paramount Plus.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker. Bring out the good.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
TrueGreen, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. TrueGreen, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Just so I'm clear, do you feel pretty confident that you're going to be alive on Sunday?
I'm a third-generation reporter, and for years, I've been chasing Omar Hamami, a former Southern Baptist from Alabama, who by rapping and online videos became the face of jihad in Africa and one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. Eventually, despite rumors he'd been killed, I found Omar. Or more like, he found me. For more than a year, we corresponded in secret while he was hiding from U.S. forces, and eventually, on the run from the very insurgent group he put on the map. Slowly, I got close to Omar. Closer than I ever thought I would. Perhaps closer than I should. Was it good journalism? An ethical lapse? Was it my faith in humanity that kept me talking to Omar? Or something darker? My name is Christoph Putzel. This is American Jihadi.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
We all use AI, but here, it never pretends it's real. AM 1300 The Zone. Guaranteed human. We're back. It's the Craig Way Show with Hall of Fame broadcaster and voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way.
Jake Herman, Mark Henry back with you here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. I don't think there's a bigger fan of Yacht Rock Wednesday than you besides maybe Craig. This is awesome.
I love it. I love it a lot. And that was one of the things that Craig and I came in and did Craig's music list. And that was one of the best times I've had in radio.
Oh, the music survey.
The music survey.
That predated me, but I'm very excited for it this summer.
Oh, bro, just wait. You're when every guest that comes in and does it, is going to blow you away. You're going to learn so much about their musical taste.
And about them by extension of it.
Yep. And the stories that you tell that go along with why you like that music or that song. Man, Craig, he got the news when I came on. He was shocked.
Yeah. I bet that was. I'm going to go back and listen to that one. That sounds fun. While we're on the subject of your music, on the text line, which you can join at 81530, text the word Texas followed by your question. C. Powell, one of our regular texters, Coach Powell says, Mark, what songs did you use powerlifting/lifting?
I like old school hip hop, Run DMC, the Scenario by Tribe Called Quest, as well as Leaders of the New School stuff. I was a young kid, so I was in that early 90s era of hip hop. But when you start, the Beastie Boys and Def Jam was kind of like my thing. So Run DMC, Beastie Boys, I loved it.
C. Powell also said, Mark, that's Tramon Mark, may be the only player that's NBA ready. Swain is not. Turnovers. Swain doesn't handle the ball well. Maybe he was pressing. That's only been a recent development, I think, for Swain, some of these turnovers. I think he is NBA ready.
I do think that Mark is ready. I think that the moments are not big for him. He has a lot of confidence. The one thing with Mark is he's got to be in a structured offense.
That's right.
You put him in a structured offense and let him go one-on-one with people, and he's going to be even better than he is now, especially with no illegal with the illegal defense in the NBA. Guys like him that can get downhill and you don't have to worry about a center just standing there waiting on you. That's going to be beneficial for him.
Nobody told Wemby defense was illegal in the NBA.
Wemby is so tall, so skilled that you could allow people to be in a zone and he still would torch them.
Well, okay, good segue by accident on the legal issues, because I want to get to one football note before we wrap up hour number one, talk some more basketball, visit with Craig Way in hour number two. And that is that one of Texas's late transfers, Lawrence Seymour, signee out of Western Kentucky. Remember, he had that eligibility waiver we were waiting on. He has been granted an extension of an eligibility waiver for the 2026 season, according to On3's Pete Nakos. Again, Seymour committed to Texas on January 27th, and he did that without any certainty over whether or not he'd be able to play. It'll be his sixth year of college, stops at Miami, where he's originally a five-star recruit. Akron, Western Kentucky, redshirted with the Hurricanes, transferred to Akron, but entered the portal outside the window. Didn't play a single snap of football in 2024 before transferring to Western Kentucky, where he was a second-team All-American in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's good, guys. And I was really shocked that it took so long to see where he would grant, because they made mistakes with his enrollment. And if it's medical, or if there was mistakes made to where you didn't play a lick, then you should be allowed another year. And he was allowed justly another year. This adds to the strength and depth of Texas offensive line. Texas can go big if they want to. I mean, and run the ball at times. Now you're going to have enough guys that can actually really do that.
No doubt about it. It's an effort to kind of boost the depth up there. It's a big win for Steve Sarkisian, who he was able to get a little bit of a late value out of the portal here with Lawrence Seymour. We'll see with some of these eligibility issues. I don't know if that maybe scared other teams off, but
I don't know if it scared other teams off, but people are willing to get it right now while they know that they can get it, and they weren't patient. Texas was patient, and it paid off.
No doubt. So Lawrence Seymour, we'll see what kind of role he plays on the interior offensive line for Texas next year. Now we do know for sure he is eligible to join the Longhorns in spring practice and on the field in 2026. Hey, this has been fun today. Herman and Henry rolling on with you on the Craig Way Show. We got 2 hours to go talking much more Texas basketball. as the show rolls along on 1300 The Zone.
Getting wild on the court. And Specs has the assist to take this tournament to a legendary new level. You know the drill. Stock up on delicious finds for every tip-off, upset, and overtime thriller. When you score savings with Specs, it's nothing but net. Don't wait for the buzzer. Run the perfect play with Specs wines, spirits, and finer foods. The lowest prices in Texas.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating.
Keep celebrating when you bundle and save with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Before smartphones, there was MapQuest. Before GPS, there was MapQuest. Before Google Maps, there was MapQuest. And guess what? MapQuest is back. Now on your phone. No printer required. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com.
Harge here, and it's March Madness at Cover Ford Hutto. This month, the savings are heating up, and the competition doesn't stand a chance. Right now, score $13,991 off MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning Flash. Or drive away with a slam dunk and save $11,583 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-150 XLT. See dealer for details. Get championship-level trucks and SUVs backed by the legendary Covert Family Service. That's Covert Ford Hutto right off of 79 in Hutto. CovertFordHutto.com.
Let me paint you a picture. It's midnight. Sirens blare. You have only seconds to grab your child and run. Now imagine you're elderly. Getting downstairs feels impossible. And after all of that, you end up in a bomb shelter for hours, even days, because you can't make that trek again. This is what's happening across Israel as Operation Epic Fury continues. Children are being traumatized. Families are exhausted. Homes have been destroyed. That's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is there on the ground, bringing food, emergency equipment, care for children, and help for the elderly, and supplying bomb shelters and medical centers with critically needed essentials. If you've ever wondered what it looks like to stand for Israel and stand for good against evil, this is it. Now, please act. Give $45 right now to rush life-saving essentials to the vulnerable under fire. Text the word SIREN to 91999 to make your donation. That's the word SIREN to 91999.
Hey, Texas sports fans, Mike Harge here. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be a part of the action with Texas baseball and softball game broadcasts. The athletes give it their all on the field, and Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork are crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. After all, their law firm will be nothing without the communities and the individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or a loved one have been injured, their attorneys are available 24/7 to help. They have a reputation and resources to handle any case, free consultations with no fees collected unless they win for you. Let's get into Texas baseball and softball action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. On and off the field, it's all about the win.
Got a thought?
Just wanted to chime in.
No hold times here.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Tap the red talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app and send us a voice note instantly.
I do agree with that guess.
A stress-free way to join the convo on your own time. Try it now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Our second hour of 3 today on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Jake Herman in for Craig Way, who we're going to visit with coming up in about 15 minutes. But I am not alone today. It's been a fun day ever since 7 o'clock, working on the morning kickoff where I got to pinch hit for Mark Henry's teammate, Mike Hardball Harge. Now Mark's sitting in with me. You've been on the air a lot the last couple of days.
The last 2 days, I almost lost my voice yesterday. Being outside at the Rowdy Cowboy for 6 hours. It seemed, 4 hours. But it seemed like 6 hours. And the wind was blowing. Music was loud. So I'm trying my best to project into the microphone, but it didn't work. I was told to speak up, and now I'm hoarse.
Was it loud, those music bumps I was sending down the line at you to get you to break yesterday?
Hey, but I loved it, though. Just like today. I wish yesterday would have been yacht rock music.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we can arrange that. You talk to your producer, Marcus Spears. I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him in the head tomorrow.
He can make that happen. I wouldn't do that. I didn't invite.
Not physically, verbally.
I didn't tell you to go that far.
Yeah, it's just a verbal hit in the head.
Like you're throwing the proverbial kitchen sink.
There you go, proverbial.
Full circle. Let's talk a little bit big picture on this March Madness bracket in these next few minutes here.
Okay.
We're going to dive into Texas a little bit with Craig Way in the next segment. Let's start the East, the top left, where the Duke Blue Devils are the number 1 seed. This is the region of headline-grabbing legendary coaches, right? Between, John Shire, who's on a great start to his career at Duke as the number 1 seed, but Dan Hurley is the 2 seed UConn at the bottom of this bracket. You've got number 4 Kansas coached by Bill Self, 5 St. John's coached by Rick Pitino, and by the way, 3 Michigan State coached by Tom Izzo. Any upsets you like, or does Duke cruise through this for you? I know you're pretty high on this Duke team.
I'm really high on the Duke team. Also, UConn they're a good team too, and they don't always play up to their competition. Like when they play a team that's lesser than them, they struggle. But when they play a team that, there's some meat on this bone, they play lights out.
Hurley's a pit bull when it comes to that.
Man, he plays so he gets his team up for the big game. And he's gonna have to not have his team have lapses then they can take it all away. But I still don't think that even with taking it all away this year, they're going to run into Duke. And Duke is they got different weapons.
As expected, by the way, no Caleb Foster, no Patrick Gungba for Duke's game against Siena to start off this tournament. It might not need them these first couple of weekends. Ohio State and TCU are the 8 and 9. They're frisky, but they're not on Duke's level. I think the challenge Duke runs into is in that 4-5 game, because you got a St. John's team that's as good defensively as anybody, and you got a Kansas team that has TJ Ford's projected number 1 pick, Darren Peterson.
I don't think that I don't think Kansas is going to go too far.
They're too inconsistent.
They're inconsistent, and St. John's, not only do they have a great coach, but they have a very balanced team, and you don't know where to stop the bleeding. They're going to puncture you at 5 or 6 different points, and if you can't get it figured out and play the chess game, you're going to lose.
Yeah. That's a region I'm really excited to watch, and it's the reason, like I hinted at earlier, why if Duke got a different draw, I'd be comfortable putting them through to the Final Four even with their health questions. But these coaches that they're going to come up against, they're going to find ways to pick apart the film of that ACC tournament and exploit what Duke is missing without Caleb Foster, who is going to be a lottery pick.
You know what? I definitely know that these guys are going to be lottery picks, and it seems like every game that's played, there's at least one guy on every team that you go, man, that guy could be in the top 16.
This freshman class, unbelievable.
Like, what a class, man. I'm just curious to see what the need is, because I think Washington is going to be up there in the top 2. And Washington has Trae Young. He didn't play much. He got injured a little bit. Anthony Davis not playing. You he had Johnson right here from University of Texas at 2. Don't you think they should go young with a guard, or if all the guys come back healthy next year, then you add another postman to Anthony Davis, so Anthony Davis does not have to always play center. He could play power forward sometimes. Like there's a lot of options.
It's hard to know because we haven't seen them play together. It's also hard to know where Alex Sarr fits in, right? Because that's your potential 5-man of the future, allowing Davis to play potential 4, allowing Davis to kind of play at the 5 and protect the rim. Sarr's been able to stretch his range a little bit as the season's gone along. That's been a really positive development for him. But as far as Wizards fandom goes, like I've just tried to keep my excitement in the deep freeze because in typical Wizards fashion, yes, you get the great news of a trade, but now you don't get to see it for a while because they have to smartly protect their assets of the draft pick by finishing with one of the worst 4 records in the league.
But what if you have the potential to draft 1 or 2 and Acuff is there?
I want him.
You have to do it, and then you have to trade Trae Young.
Even if you have Trae Young. That's right.
Like Trae Young is
unless you think Peterson's going to be a better pro.
TJ Ford thought that Peterson would be the better pro because of his size, being 6'6" with all his talent.
It's a harder commodity to find.
I don't have faith in him after this season.
With that size, with that athleticism, and that shooting ability.
You got Trey Johnson too. So you already got a 6'6" shooter.
Yeah, and if he can get a little better on defense, he'll be really dangerous in this league.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go back-to-back 2 guards. I would go maybe Boozer.
It's exciting that for the first time in a while, we're talking about Washington and not dreading life for the rookie that goes there. They at least have some pieces now to build around, and that's why I liked the Anthony Davis trades and the Trae Young trade, even though, these aren't necessarily guys that have proven that they can be the number 1 guy on a team, and yet they might not have to.
Do you think that anybody in the top 16 will trade their first pick for a Trae Young or an Anthony Davis?
Not this year. Draft is too good. I think most years, absolutely. This year, the excitement over this freshman class, I think, is at a fever pitch. Let's get to one more region of the bracket before I get bummed out about the Wizards. Thanks a lot for that, Mark.
You're welcome.
Yesterday, talking Cowboys with BK, now Wizards with me, and I don't know what it is about you.
I figured if I have to go through pain, you have to go through some too.
Okay. Yeah, misery loves company, I guess. We talked about the top left. You like Duke. I like Michigan State, and a little surprise there in the top left side of the bracket. I think they're a pretty consistent, well-rounded group with good guard play. I don't know. I'm just not trusting Duke with all those injuries. It's a bold pick. We'll see if I stick with it come tomorrow afternoon. Bottom left part of the bracket, that's where Florida is. Real quickly, do you see any big-time challenges for the Gators, or do you have them getting through to the Final Four as a 1 seed?
Vandy is the dark horse, but Florida is the one I see going all the way. I don't have faith in Houston to get the job done.
What's missing there?
A big man that dominates the boards. You know, like they have tweeners playing forward and center. You know, so those guys, they rebound pretty well. They play with good energy. But when they run against people like Boozer or any of the 3 center forwards from Florida, they're going to get smashed. And I feel like Florida is the wild card for Houston.
Florida's gotten so much better as the year's gone on, and we saw it in Austin. They basically brought their B- game for 30 minutes. It was enough to hang tough, and then they showed us, right, the gear they have, the finishing kick with that depth in the front court to be able to get by Texas. I just don't see Florida beating themselves in this tournament. It's going to take a team to take it away from them.
No, especially after the run that they had last year. I'm not saying they're saving anything, but it doesn't look like they're playing with desperation yet. And I think now that we're in the tournament, we're going to see them play desperate.
Anyone else in this bottom left part of the bracket raise an eyebrow for you? Any projections on what Texas A&M can do in the tournament as a number 10 seed with Bucky McMillan, their first-year head coach at the helm?
they'll be able to knock out St. Mary's, but they're going to run into Houston. And watching them play Texas and the way that they don't defend the jump shot, because Texas torched them with the jump shot. I think that Houston is a better jump shooting team than Texas.
I agree with that. Houston's a better offensive team this year than they were last year. It's the defense where they're maybe not the same.
Yeah, it's gonna be an 88-86 game.
I think it's a great draw for Houston to see either Texas A&M or St. Mary's. I actually hate the matchup for A&M. I think St. Mary's is long and physical. They don't turn the ball over. I think they'll handle A&M just fine. We'll see how that game ends up. We'll disagree on that one. And we'll talk about the right side of the bracket a little bit more later this hour. But up next, we take a flight out to Portland. Oh, sorry, that's what Craig did overnight. And we'll visit with him here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone as the Craig Way Show continues.
We honor the biggest stars from all genres of music that you loved listening to all year long.
Don't miss our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Watch live on Fox Thursday, March 26th.
Starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Trashy is a proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. This spring, turn your closet clutter into rewards with the Take Back Bag. Learn more and get started at trashy.io.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Hey, it's Howie Mandel, and I am inviting you to witness history as me and my Howie Do It gaming team take on Gilly the King and Wallow 267's $1 million gaming in an epic Global Gaming League video game showdown. 4 rounds, multiple games, 1 winner, plus a halftime performance by multi-platinum artist Travie McCoy. Watch all the action and see who wins and advances to the championship match against Neo right now at globalgamingleague.com. That's globalgamingleague.com. Everybody game.
You know who's listening to the radio? Voters. Lots of them. So if you're running for office, this right here, great place to reach them. And it's not like social media where people are just swiping through ads. With radio, they're engaged. Plus, it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Call now and be on the air in just 48 hours. 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Matt and Bowen here from Las Culturistas. Celebrating 10 years of the podcast, we were joined by a very special guest, Nicole Kidman.
Download and listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LAUGH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank to pay PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Right now at Steel Round Rock GMC, the road to a new GMC has never been better. You get the Steel Standard, over $1,400 of protection for free, plus huge discounts, like $13,000 off 2026 GMC 1500s or $5,000 off 2026 GMC Canyons. We've also made it easier than ever to find a vehicle to fit your budget, like a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 lease for just $249 a month, because everything we do is driven by you. Steel GMC in Round Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
For over 30 years, CertaPro Painters has been part of countless memories. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home, beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
Texas 66, North Carolina State 66. Inbounded to Jordan Pope. The defense drops off. Pope into the front court. To the right side, off to Kendall Weaver. 10 seconds to go. Cody needs help. He's got to get rid of it. Does to Weaver. Down to 7 seconds. Here's Mark. Tramon down the 4 to 3. Puts it up. It is good. It's good. 1 second to go. Tramon Mark knocks it down. And Texas is up 2. With a tick left on the clock.
Let the music play on. Everybody sing. Everybody
Well, from delivering that electrifying final call to flying all night long, we welcome Craig Way to the show. Terrific call of a terrific shot that got Texas into the field of 64. Craig, I know it's been a busy couple of days, heck, a busy few weeks for you. So glad we found some time to do this here today.
You know what? I also saw what you did there too, Jake. You know, it is, after all, a Yacht Rock Wednesday, right? So, Lionel Richie, who's going to be back touring and back at Moody Center coming up in a couple of months there. So I saw what you did there. And a lot of folks got a chance to see what Tramon Mark did for the Longhorns and what they did to coin the late Jim Valvano, survive and advance to get to the second round. And that meant after the game, getting on a plane, getting everybody back, and not just a team, because you have that traveling party that includes, the video coordinators, and you have then the Texas Longhorn Pep Band and Texas Cheer and Texas Palm, the families of the coaches. So it was one big happy family, flying deep through the night to get into Portland, Oregon here about 7 o'clock Texas time this morning. And so then they shuttled us all over to the hotel, and and then a lot of folks went straight to bed right after that. So I think everybody connected with the program is going to be operating on less than a full tank today, but I think they'll get through it today and get another good night's sleep, and then be ready to go tomorrow when Texas plays BYU.
Yeah, I was just getting on the air for the morning kickoff this morning, where I filled in for Mike Hardball Harge, who's on a trip. And I see wheels down in Portland. I'm thinking, just now, 5 a.m. Pacific time. That's a long night of flying. I want to get back to that a little later on, but let's talk about the game. It felt like Texas was the better team for long stretches of it. Obviously didn't close out either half that well on offense, but like Sean Miller said, this was the night where their Texas defense finally, I think, played to what they've been striving for all season.
Yeah, I think they were able to dig in and get some stops when they had to have them. And you're right, the offense, which played better in terms of his execution, but not his shooting, still had led for 35 of the 40 minutes in the ballgame. And, NC State had that brief lead early in the second half, and then when Texas reclaimed it, they never fell behind again, although NC State came down to tie it clearly on the Holloman free throw to tie it there. And so they had to inbound with 7 seconds to go and get it down the floor, and or with 20 seconds to go, I guess it was, and get it down the floor and then set up the play where Tramon Mark would have an opportunity or somebody to get a shot. And then when they worked the ball out front, and this is why you heard me say he's got to do something. Like Cody was under pressure, they immediately collapsed a double team at the top of the arc against him. And all Nick was trying to do is find an open hand, whether it was Jordan Pope or Tramon Mark or anybody else for that matter. And there was Mark to get it and coming off the screen to the left side. And we've talked about that clock that's in Tramon's head throughout the course of the year. Usually it comes down to being able to get off a shot before a shot clock expiration. In this case, it was almost before a game clock expiration when he was able to rise up. And it was and here was a break that I and Eddie Orrin caught as broadcasters. It happened right in front of us. A lot of times things will happen down at the other end. I've told the story about how when asked about calling Vince Young's 4th down and 5 run in the Rose Bowl, I'm actually leaning out the window and looking 100 yards the other way. It was at the opposite end of the field. In this case, Tramon Mark was right in front of us. And so I had a good clean look at as he was able to work his way and still maintain the dribble until he had enough energy to rise up and knock down the shot.
Did you and Eddie think it would be Mark to take that final shot? The TV broadcast was kind of predicting it'd be Dalen Swain's shot to take.
Well, it would be if he would have been open. And he was on the left side. And two things happened. First of all, he had a defender on him. That's not an impossibility. He's been able to turn it. But once the ball went to the top of the arc to Nick Cody, I think he only gave one brief glance to the right, but he was mainly looking to his left because there were two Longhorns over there. And he had the defense collapsed around him. And that's when I said he's got to do something with it, because it wasn't a moment of panic, but it was a moment of concern when he had it. And here's the other defenders closing around him. And he saw Mark out of the corner of his eye on the left, and that's why I kicked it there. And, of course, Tramon has knocked down some big shots during the course of this season for Texas. That just happened to be the biggest occasion of the season.
I was telling Mark Henry earlier that if not for Tramon Mark's heroics down the stretch and the way this game ended, had NC State not made those difficult, long-range three-point shots to bring it back within striking distance late, we'd have been talking about this today as the Kendall Weaver game last night. What he did on both ends of the floor, I thought he was the only reason Texas was still ahead when they got to the half.
What he did on both ends in his first career double-double, but we've seen him at times really raise his level of performance in terms of the rebounding. And he did so again, even to get it when he got to 10 rebounds. That's a career high from him. It wasn't just a career double-double. It was a career high in rebounds from him. He had collected 10 in one game for UT Arlington when he played for UTA. But that was the most he'd collected as a Longhorn. And then you add to that some scoring and some clutch free throws that he made also down the stretch. And that got him to that double-double. And he was a major reason why Texas was in position to win.
No doubt about it. It was, I think I counted 4 fouls drawn and 5 offensive rebounds before the under 8 in the first half. He was a part of the reason that Texas was able to execute on its first big test in this game. And that was, could they start faster than they had been doing in recent games?
Yeah. And they as a group knew they had to take the fight physically to NC State. And that helped, set it up with a lot of fouls. And they went through a spell in the second half, Jake, when the game was really close, even after they regained the lead, where they were splitting free throws. They were getting 1 out of 2. Montez did that 3 times in the second half. They'd had a couple other guys. Jordan Pope did that in the second half. They had a couple of guys who were splitting free throws. And fortunately for Texas, they were making 2 of 2 down the stretch in the final couple of minutes of the game to give them a good free throw percentage. But they were splitting them for a time, but they were getting to the rack and giving themselves an opportunity to win.
Yeah, good point about the free throw shooting. Even Dalen Swain, who was not his usual self in this game, was able to knock down a clutch pair.
Yeah, that was big. And he had missed 1 earlier, but he was big on hitting free throws late in the game. And I understand exactly why, even though obviously I was calling the game, so I didn't hear them say it. I can understand exactly why Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley and even Brian Anderson, Georgetown, Texas native, by the way, all were thinking perhaps that it would come down to a Dalen Swain shot. And as after the game, as was listed by Sean Miller in the postgame press conference, they had a couple of different options. Swain is probably always going to be option number 1, but Tramon Mark is a clear good 1A. and has made some gigantic shots during the course of the season. So he's pretty comfortable with that. And that's why when he joined us very briefly in the postgame, they said this was all on Tramon at that point. It wasn't any specific coaching acumen or genius drawn up. It was get the ball in the hands of a guy who could knock down the shot. And Tramon Mark was that guy.
What did you and Eddie notice about the way Modest Vocatitis played in this game? Not only was he efficient on offense, Craig, he had 0 fouls for a long stretch until obviously picking up those 2 late and fouling out of the game.
Yeah, and what I expected to see and what I did see for a while, especially early in the ball game, was NC State with a renewed effort to really clamp down on him, which they were unable to do in Maui. So when you're looking at that pass game, you say, how much does the game back on November 26th, matter on March 17th? As I was talking about it with Sean Miller in the pregame thing, it'd been almost 4 months. This wasn't like playing Texas A&M 6 weeks earlier or Oklahoma 7 weeks earlier. I mean, this was 4 months, but there were some things that came out of it that they learned, and obviously some things that came out of it that the Wolfpack learned that NC State employed. And one of them was to really collapse again the double team. Couple of cases, a triple team on Modest Vocatitis. He was able to pass out of it a couple of times. There were a couple of turnovers on it early on, but I think they made that renewed effort. And then Modest got more physical in the second half, made some key shots, got some key rebounds before eventually the foul difficulty caught up to it.
So you predicted on your final call, which we heard at the end of the highlight montage in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll hear it again to start the 4 o'clock hour of today's show. A jubilant flight late night from Dayton to Portland. Did it live up to that? What was the atmosphere like, and what was it like being around the team after this game, knowing how quickly they had to turn around?
Well, it was jubilant till everybody got on the plane, and then it was just collapsing in their seats. Again, and I've brought this up before, but I think it bears repeating. Then when you travel during the NCAA tournament, you're not really on your own schedule because you're not on your own dime. The NCAA has a travel agency that tells you when the charter is going to get there to take you to a certain place. The Longhorns experienced this last year, and losing in Dayton, they weren't able to go home until the next day, almost midday the next day, because charter planes are all over the country. Today, the NCAA has charter flights taking teams that are playing Friday, Sunday, first, second round for the tournament to their destination. So until those planes free up, they can't get a plane back over to Dayton to pick up the 2 winners. One had already gone out earlier to take Howard University to Buffalo, but that was going to be late. And we were told when everything was getting packed up that the charter would not land until 2 a.m. Eastern time. So, and at that point, that was a solid 3.5 hours out. So there was a long wait. Of course, they had to marshal together the groups. Like I said, it took 3 buses, counting the band, the cheerleaders, pep squad, all of that, because everybody's going to be on that same flight. So then they bus everybody over to the airport over on the charter terminal side. And then we were all like in a big hangar, pretty much it was, for the better part of about an hour and a half getting there before they could get the plane in. So everybody just gathers and sits around and, maybe has a bite to eat, and that's about it. So there was a lot of sitting around and waiting. And then, but everybody was really in a kind of a jubilant mood, a very happy mood. And then they finally boarded us about probably, I guess it was 2:30 in the morning, Eastern time, took off about, I think, 3:30 Eastern. And then it was a 4-hour flight to get out of here. So it was a long night, a long flight. And then they got everybody to the hotel, and I think everybody was trying to catch up on rest this morning before getting ready for all the stuff this afternoon.
Yeah, that was my next question is, navigating the rest disadvantage. It's often that a team playing in Dayton might have a couple of things working for them in terms of the schedule, as in a closer, perhaps, destination than Portland, and maybe a later tip time than the 4:25 local, right, 6:25 Central that Texas will have. So those two things kind of didn't break the Longhorns' way. And I'm curious how Sean Miller and the staff are planning to manage that. This is where it's great, right, to have a coach with tournament experience.
Right. And I think the whole plan was just to try to get them as much rest as possible. They didn't do quote unquote breakfast until 11:30 this morning Pacific time, because all of it flips from Eastern time to Pacific time, and trying to adjust your body clock, let alone manage the fatigue of winning a game last night and preparing on less than 48 hours notice to play another team. So I think and obviously tomorrow we'll talk about BYU in the matchup, but just in coming off the win, managing the fatigue, the travel, all of that stuff, that was what today was all about. And they still have the responsibility of an open practice to deal with this afternoon, as well as the press conferences.
Yeah, let's leave it there in the press conference this afternoon, which we'll try to bring you the opening statement of that on today's show. We'll definitely have sound bites from that tomorrow as we lead right into the game against BYU. What kind of questions are at the top of your mind for Sean Miller?
Everybody's going to be asking, how fatigued are you? How can you turn it around in such a short amount of time? There will be the requisite questions about BYU, I think, as well, and defending AJ Devanza and all of that other kind of stuff. And again, those are, I think, better suited to address tomorrow. But this is more about recovering coming off last night and the things they had to do to get here. And now they move forward from that.
We asked Tramon Mark that question last night, and I'll ask you the same question. Where does that shot rank among buzzer beaters you've called and been a part of in March?
Well, it makes me think about some. Kenton Paulino hit one in 2006 in the Sweet 16 to beat West Virginia, and that got Texas to the Elite Eight. That shot had left his hands, and then as it was traveling through air, the clock hit zero. So when it went through, it was a bona fide game winner in the instantaneous moment. I think of that. There's been some other ones in regular season games that Texas has had, but Andrew Jones against Oklahoma, Mike Cabando against Oklahoma. There's been several through the years, but that'll rank up there, certainly because it happened in the NCAA tournament that allowed the Longhorns to move on.
No doubt about it. I think a lot of Texas fans are hoping it's topped soon by this team as this tournament rolls on, maybe even by the women's team. Who knows, as they get their tournament underway tomorrow afternoon. We'll leave this here for now and try to touch base with you later if we can from open practice. Craig, thanks a bunch for the time.
We'll look forward to it, Jake, and that women's game on Friday afternoon. Certainly, we'll look forward to that. It'll be a lot of fun and we can talk certainly about their upcoming NCAA tournament road.
Yeah, we'll break that down in a little bit. Thanks, Craig.
You bet.
We'll continue to talk March Madness next on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app. If you've got a question, text it to us at 81530. Just text the word Texas, followed by your question or comment. Standard message and data rates may apply there. This is the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio 1300 The Zone.
Meet iPhone 17e. A whole lot for a lot less. With an almighty, all-powerful A19 chip. And Ceramic Shield 2, built to survive this and this. And a 48-megapixel fusion camera with 2x optical quality zoom and next-gen portraits. And double the starting storage of iPhone 16e. And long-lasting battery life for hours of watching the studio.
That's the dream!
And it comes with Apple Intelligence. And you can charge it with USB-C or with MagSafe accessories. And a whole lot more, all for a lot less. Get the new iPhone 17e at T-Mobile today.
The world's best bull riders. One shot, 8 seconds, no mercy. The rankest bulls in the sport are waiting. This is professional bull riding. Watch it live as we unleash the beast. This weekend from Indianapolis, only on Paramount Plus.
You know that water in our lakes is a precious resource that we can all work together as a community to save. Austin Water offers simple ways to use less and make a big impact around your home and yard. Find your watering day, explore rebates, and get more tips at austinwater.org.
The road to a national championship starts now, and every game matters. Download the new DraftKings Predictions app and make real money predictions on all the March tournament matchups. There's always something to predict. Will a one seed stay dominant? Will a Cinderella story bust brackets? Who survives and advances? Make your pick before tip-off or jump in live as the action unfolds. DraftKings Predictions is a new, easy-to-use app to predict the outcomes of sports and real-world events. Now available in California, Texas, Florida, and other states. Download DraftKings Prediction app today with code AM1300. AM1300. New customers trade $5 and get 50 predictions dollars with promo code AM1300. Don't just feel it, predict it with DraftKings Predictions. The crown is yours. DraftKings Predictions is a CFTC registered introducing broker. Event contract trading involves substantial risk of loss. One per new customer. Often required. Non-withdrawable predictions dollars expire in 1 year. Ends April 6, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Before smartphones, there was MapQuest. Before GPS, there was MapQuest. Before Google Maps, there was MapQuest. And guess what? MapQuest is back. Now on your phone. No printer required. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-9336. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-9336. That's 800-444-9336 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-9336.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
I'm Miles Turner.
And I'm Brianna Stewart.
And our podcast, Game Recognized Game, has never been done before.
2 active players giving you a real look at our lives and what we actually think on and off the court. We talk tanking. I might get in trouble for this answer, but I think it's definitely happening in the WNBA.
We talk about our mistakes too. They pulled me to the side and was like, hey man, we got a call last night, man. You can't be rolling around the city like this the night before games. Open your free iHeartRadio app. Search Game Recognized Game and listen now.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work. There's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Back to Craig Way, the voice of the Longhorns on 1300 The Zone. And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Back here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday, I don't know if you've noticed this. I think every Yacht Rock Wednesday I've hosted the show while Craig is out on assignment with a Longhorn basketball team, heck, even going back to football season. I think I've used Bill Withers' Lovely Day. It is certainly in my top 5 songs, not just in yacht rock, but of all time. And it was the way a lot of Longhorn fans probably felt waking up after a big victory, knowing that the season is still alive for Sean Miller and his team, and getting to enjoy some of the March Madness that starts by this time tomorrow. We'll have a whole window of games done, and we'll keep you updated on those during the program tomorrow. We're also going to bring you a big preview of Texas's round of 64 game against BYU, slated to tip off just after 6 o'clock local time here in Austin. And it's just no better feeling than this time of year having a team to support, and Texas fans are going to be spoiled because both the men and the women's teams will be in action later this week. The women will tip off their March Madness on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we'll bring you sort of an extended pregame show for that here on The Zone. I'll come on the air at 2 o'clock, set the table, and then send you to Moody Center with Craig and Kathy for the call of that game, starting with coverage starting at 2:45 tomorrow. And then hopefully there's another flight for Craig to catch for Texas's round of 32 game. But of course, that depends on the result against BYU on, well, tomorrow. It's coming up quickly. So too is the rest of the March Madness bracket. And by the way, thank you so much to Mark Henry for spending the first half of today's show with us. We are going to try and visit again with Craig Way and Cameron Parker, who are getting themselves all set to go in Portland, where Sean Miller is right now at the podium answering some questions. Texas fulfilling their media obligations, no doubt, like Craig said, moving a little bit slower than usual today, trying to get up to speed, get rested, and get prepared for a very tough BYU team, the number 6 seed in that West region coming out of the Big 12. Let's start there as we continue our bracket breakdown. The top right of your brackets, the West, where Arizona is the number 1 seed. They'll meet the winner of Nova and Utah State. I've said this before on the show. I think Monday afternoon, I kind of teased at it. Arizona is my pick to cut down the nets this March. I just feel as though their depth, their ability to rebound, combined with the playmaking ability of Jaden Bradley, the scoring ability of Braden Burries, I just find them to be the most complete team. And their losses this year, it didn't really change my opinion of them all that much. I thought they looked good in defeat, particularly playing without Koa Pete in Lawrence for what is technically their worst loss of the season in a road game against Kansas. So Arizona's the team I have coming out of this region. Mark Henry's got Arkansas, and a big part of that has to do with Darius Acuff. Arkansas secondary scorers, Richmond, Brazil, underrated as well. They're in a little pod that I'm very excited to watch because Arkansas faces Hawaii. I don't think there's too much to worry about there for the Razorbacks, but then they'll face the winner of Wisconsin and High Point. And this is strength on strength. High Point's a very good 12 seed. According to Ken Palm, the best 12 seed. But they rely on turnovers and getting out in transition, speeding opponents up. Wisconsin doesn't really turn it over. And this Wisconsin team, since the calendar turn, has really played both up and down to its competition, so you'd worry about them a little bit in a potential spot like this. But I'm going to back the Badgers to get through that one and then take on Arkansas in the next round. Bottom half of this bracket is where Purdue is, the number 2 seed, who has, according to Evan Miyakawa's analytics, the best offense in college basketball here since the calendar turned. And that was on full display as they rolled through the Big Ten tournament, upsetting Michigan in the Big Ten championship game. I think Purdue gets a pretty good draw here with Miami and Missouri in the 7 versus 10 game. Now, Purdue fans will travel well, but the Boilermakers are playing in St. Louis. So if Missouri were to get through and beat Miami, all of a sudden you could have a very pro-Tiger crowd in St. Louis that could tip the scales. Missouri's long. They've got lots of perimeter threats, including Mark Mitchell. I like what Jay Lucas did his first season at Miami. I think Mark and I disagreed on this game. He liked the Miami Hurricanes. I am back in the Missouri Tigers in the 10-7 upset. But I see Purdue and Gonzaga on a collision course in the Sweet 16, and then Arizona and Purdue in a chalk Elite 8, 1 versus 2. Arizona has largely underachieved in the NCAA tournament under Tommy Lloyd. You think about their upset at the hands of a Clemson team last year in the round of 32. They lost to Princeton in the first round as a number 2 seed in 2023. And then in 2022, they were knocked out by a number 5 seed in Houston. This is not the Arizona teams of the past. I think this is a Matt Painter-like March breakthrough for Tommy Lloyd and the Arizona Wildcats, who just have so many different scores. If Bradley and Burries are having an off day, well, Del Orso or Karchetkov can hurt you. Krivas is capable of filling it up from the outside as a stretch big. Tobe Awaka is one of the best rebounders in the country. He's probably their 5th or 6th highest usage guy in terms of minutes. He doesn't need the ball to impact the game. And when you have guys like that, that's a team I want to back to make a deep run in March. So the West region is where Arizona lies. Then the bottom right is Michigan's region, the number 1 seed in the Midwest. And that is where Texas Tech and Alabama are. Texas Tech will take on Akron, who's back in the NCAA tournament for a 2nd straight year. The Red Raiders haven't quite been the same team without JT Toppin. Matter of fact, they've been outscored by almost a combined 40 points in their last couple of games without him. They've also been out-rebounded in every game. And to me, that spells trouble. They've had to go with some smaller lineups, with Toppin out of the rotation. How do you beat Alabama? You own the glass. Alabama's a guard-heavy team. Without Aiden Holloway, they might have to play a little bit bigger. But I think the matchups there have kind of tipped the scales in Alabama's favor, even though Aiden Holloway not going to be with the team this weekend, as, like we covered on the morning kickoff, he is dealing with some legal trouble, charged with a felony in Alabama for the possession of marijuana after authorities found over 2 pounds of it at his house. The team I expect to make some noise that maybe we haven't talked about much in this Midwest region, the bottom right side of the bracket, is Tennessee. I think Jacoby Gillespie and what he did in the SEC this year has gone a little bit unnoticed. The rapid rise of Nate Ament certainly has been noticed. That's a guy we were talking about lottery picks potentially earlier in the show. Ament's another one whose stock has soared over these last few weeks. Now, Tennessee is stumbling into the tournament a little bit. And they have lost 4 of their last 6, and the 2 wins were over South Carolina and Auburn. And if not for a big second-half comeback where they really put together a nice run down the stretch of that Auburn game, they might have lost 5 out of 6 coming into this tournament. So the Vols didn't play their best basketball down the stretch. Look at a 2-point loss to Missouri, 2-point loss to Alabama, 4-point loss to Vanderbilt, and then the same Vandy team beat them by 7. And these are tight games. And in March, sometimes a team that's been knocking on the door in these tight games is due for some variance and due to swing the other way. Tennessee's played tight games all year long. And you look at the double overtime win over A&M, the overtime win over Georgia. This team is battle-tested. They're proven. They have 6 quad 1 wins. I don't see them stumbling against the Miami, Ohio, or SMU winner in the first 4 games tonight. And I do think they're a team that is underseeded based on what their analytical profile says. According to Bart Torvik, they are the 16th best team in the country in terms of efficiency. Ken Pom matches that number, and both of those metrics really love the Vols defense. Top 15 defense, and that is always the identity of a Rick Barnes team in March. So I'm not sure it's a Final Four run for Tennessee, but I wouldn't be surprised if they outperform that 6 seed line, maybe even pull an upset over Virginia like I have them tapped to do in my bracket. I do have Michigan coming out of that region and reaching the Final Four. It's bracket season, and as you're filling yours out, you're running out of time. Just like we're running out of time in hour number 2 here on the Craig Way Show. We'll take a quick break and come right back to set up what we've got planned for you in hour number 3 here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
UT football, basketball, and baseball.
All in one station for all. This is why I listen. 1300 The Zone. 1300 The Zone.
Springtime in Texas, it's finally arriving. Unfortunately, more people out on the roads as well. And it's certainly possible that someone being reckless or inattentive might run into your car, leaving you without a clear path to compensation from the other party. If that is happening, you don't let the other party's insurance give you the runaround. Give my friend Dan Christensen at DJC Law a call. The number is 512-888-9999. You can also find them on the web at teamjustice.com or on any social media platform at Get Your Justice. They offer a free case review, and your consultation is always free. You don't pay unless they win. This is a veteran-owned law firm with over 100 years of combined legal experience. Their team of attorneys work together to navigate even the most intricate cases because nobody should fight alone. Your case might be big or small, but that doesn't matter because DJC Law will either get it right or not at all. Give DJC Law a call at 512-888-9999. That's 512-888-9999. And get your justice at teamjustice.com.
Imagine if every child learned kindness the way they learn math or reading. At kindness.org, our Learn Kind curriculum is a free science-backed K-8 social-emotional learning program designed to build self-awareness, empathy, and relationship skills through inquiry and real-world kindness. With just $25, you become a kind maker, giving 10 children access to Learn Kind and helping shape kinder classrooms across the country. It is simple, it is powerful, and it starts with you. Visit kindness.org to join the Kind Maker campaign. Teach kindness, spread kindness, become a kind maker.
It's Truck Month at Group 1 Ford of South Austin, where transparent pricing means no dealer add-ons. Get up to $16,000 off a 2025 F-150 or 0% for 60 months, or a brand new 2025 Ford Ranger for just $29,988. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, 5000 South I-35 Frontage Road, or Group1FordofSouthAustin.com. Up to $60,000 off on select 2025 Ford F-150 models. Includes dealer discount, package discount, retail, and bonus cash. Not all customers qualify for 0%. 2025 Ford Ranger includes dealer discount, bonus customer cash, and TM bonus cash. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, save more on what goes into the job. Add power to your lineup with a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, and more. Get the job done right. Keep more in your pocket. That's Pro Savings Days. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
This season, follow the Longhorns with the official LHN app. Stay connected all year with Texas original content, exclusive highlights, behind-the-scenes access, and in-depth interviews with student athletes and coaches. Catch coaches' shows, press conferences, and boost your game day with the perfect second screen experience. And don't miss Texas and OS, the innovative LHN talk show, spotlighting Longhorn student athletes beyond the game. Download the LHN app today for your all-access pass to Texas athletics.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in school.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
Today, Nelson Mandela's teachings continue to inspire. Inspiration. Pass it on from PassItOn.com.
We all use AI, but here, it never pretends it's real. AM 1300 The Zone. Guaranteed human.
Okay, we head down the stretch in hour number 2. If you're just joining us, we've already caught up with Craig Way in Portland. We're going to touch base with him and Cameron Parker courtside at the Longhorns open practice as Texas prepares for its round of 64 game. We're also going to hear from head coach Sean Miller, who just wrapped up his press conference. We'll hear a couple of more quotes from him about last night's victory over BYU and a few of his thoughts, victory over NC State, a few of his thoughts on BYU. We'll also talk to CJ Vogel from OnTexasFootball here on The Zone and on the iHeartRadio app.
Wake up with Harge and Henry in the morning kickoff.
Why is your mouth overloading your hummingbird rear end? That's what it is.
Say that again.
Huh? His hummingbird mouth was overloading his rear end.
What? You made fun of me for making up stuff this morning.
No. You gotta come. Hey, that's East Texas, baby. That's East Texas. Big Texas.
Weekdays at 7.
It's getting wild on the court, and Specs has the assist to take this tournament to a legendary new level. You know the drill. Stock up on delicious finds for every tip-off, upset, and overtime thriller. When you score savings with Specs, it's nothing but net. Don't wait for the buzzer. Run the perfect play with Specs wines, spirits, and finer foods. The lowest prices in Texas.
Don't miss the Express on Saturday, April 18th at Del Diamond. The first 1,500 fans receive a Round Rock Express sling bag presented by the Sanders family. Get tickets at roundrockexpress.com.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to amazonbusiness.com for support.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
That pallet of pavers collecting dust, the beginnings of a garden, those stray fence posts. Are you haunted by half-finished projects on your land? John Deere is here to say, not anymore. Our compact tractors allow you to swap implements easily, and they're backed by the nation's largest dealer network. You always had the right idea, and with the right tools, those projects can get finished for good. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/compact tractors.
Matchups are here, and Kalshi is giving away $1 billion for a perfect bracket. No one's ever done it. The odds are about 1 in 9.2 quintillion. Kalshi is also giving $1 million to the top bracket and $1 million to charity. It's free to enter. No deposit or purchase required. Entries closed before the round of 64 tips Thursday. Download the app or visit Kalshi.com to read the full rules and enter. Use code iHeart when you sign up. Eligibility requirements apply. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Participants must be 18 years of age or older. Not available outside the United States, in New York, or in Florida. Contest not endorsed by or associated with the NCAA. Official rules apply. See Kalshi.com/billion for more information.
Steel Hyundai and Kyle is your destination for transparent pricing and customer value, plus the Steel Standard. We add over $1,400 in protection for free. Drive home a sleek new 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE lease for just $199 a month, or upgrade to the versatile 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE lease for only $259 a month. Plus, every new Hyundai comes back by America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile and owner assurance. Everything we do is driven by you. Steel Hyundai and Kyle or SteelHyundaiKyle.com.
Got a hot take?
Read the room.
Don't let it die in the group chat. Tap the red talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app and join the show.
Love the show, but I disagree with you guys.
It's the fastest way to get your voice on the air. Say it, send it, and hear it on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm Julian Edelman. That's Rob Gronkowski. And guess what, folks? We're teammates again. And we're going to welcome you guys all to Dudes on Dudes.
Dudes on Dudes.
That sounds a little weird, but that's what this is going to be. Roberto, what's Dudes on Dudes?
Well, I'm a dude. You're a dude, and Dudes on Dudes is our brand new show, and we're going to see who the ultimate dude really is.
The premise of this show is going to be, we're going to highlight players, peers, guys that we played against, legends from the past. We'll get into the types of dudes. What kind of types of dudes are there, Gronk?
A lot of different types of dudes. We got studs, wizards. We got freaks.
Or dudes, dude.
We got dogs.
Dog. We'll break down their games. We'll share some insider stories and determine what kind of dude each of these dudes are. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're gonna find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and X. Go to Apple Podcasts and write a review about dudes that you want us to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
From the University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio, it's the NCAA First Four matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Okatitis out front, Pope in the corner. Cam Heide triggers up a three. It's good. So the Longhorns have knocked down 3 threes from 3 different guys, 9 unanswered, and Texas grabs a 9-2 lead. Dalen cross-court pass. Wilcher driving in, floats it with the right hand and score. Now to Mark, 5 on the shot clock. Tramon retreating with the dribble, fires up a contested 3, and he drains it. Tramon Mark, his second made 3 of this first half. Longhorns have their largest lead of the first half. They're up 8, 22-14. Here's Holloman at it, taken out of his mitts, knocked loose by Weaver in. Tramon Mark lays it home. Okatitis, good pass along the baseline, goes up. Might have got popped, missed the shot, but it's pulled down by Weaver. 7 on the shot clock, bounce pass again. Okatitis turn around and lays it in. Swain on to the left side. Up top with it. Trying to drive in on Williams in the paint. Goes around, Trevor missed it, but there's Cody for a follow slam. Here's Swain. He's going to drive into the corner to Mark. 8 on the shot clock. Tramon pulls it out. Down to 6, down to 5. Mark down to 3. Spins, turns, shoots. Good! Mark, big turnaround mid-range to put Texas up 4. Half a minute to go. The game is tied. 18.3 left. Texas 66, North Carolina State 66. Inbounded to Jordan Pope. The defense drops off. Pope into the front court. To the right side, off to Kendall Weaver. 10 seconds to go. Cody needs help. He's got to get rid of it. Does to Weaver. Down to 7 seconds. Here's Mark. Tramon down to 4 to 3. Puts it up. It is good. It's good. 1 second to go. Tramon Mark knocks it down. And Texas is up 2 with a tick left on the clock. Nick Cody will defend against the inbounds pass. 1.1 to go. It's handed to Copeland. Runs along the baseline. Looks. Still looks. Still looking. Still looking. And throws it down the floor. It is caught. The three-point shot was blocked. And the Texas Longhorns survive and advance, as is the theme of the NCAA tournament. The Longhorns are going west to Portland. It'll be a late-night flight, but it will be a jubilant one, as the Longhorns have earned a 68-66 win over the NC State Wolfpack and a ticket to Portland to take on BYU on Thursday night.
Well, a highlight montage, so nice. We bring it to you twice, as we do after all sorts of big wins for the Longhorns here on AM 1300 The Zone and the Craig Way Show. My name is Jake Herman, in for Craig Way the rest of the week while he calls Longhorn basketball for as far as this March Madness run may take Texas. We know one thing, their season continues to take on BYU in an 11 versus 6 matchup tomorrow at 6:25 p.m. when Texas will look to join the last 32 teams standing, try to become the 13th first 4 team in 15 years to win in the round of 64. Teams that have been able to get that win under their belt in Dayton, have gone on to have a pretty good record against the number 6 seed. Let's hear a little bit more about the win from Sean Miller after the victory last night. Here is a point that has come back many times over the course of Texas's season, and that is the team trying to build up its resiliency, its gumption in close games. Was the win last night a testament to Texas's improvement in this area? Take a listen.
This is game 33 tonight, and it's kind of unique in that most of our wins, we kind of had it in the bag. There weren't really a lot of last-second victories or, last single possession games, just how it went. Like, we won the game. We won by 8 points, 4 points. Or we just kind of went. Some of our losses, as you know, we had a lead late, and guys made plays, and we lost heartbreakers, maybe 2 or 3 of those. So, yeah, we won one tonight, and it came at a good time.
Yeah, he's right. You think about the loss at home to Mississippi State to kick off SEC play. You think about the game at UConn that Texas was in right down under 4 minutes to go, and UConn made some impossible shots in that game to pull it out. You think of the shot that Odom drained to beat Texas in Maui when they lost that opener in Hawaii against Arizona State. And then in some of the wins, Texas has pulled away comfortably, like the 17-point win at Missouri or the 11-point win at home over Ole Miss. That was a little closer than that for a lot of it. And like the blowout wins that they had at home over Vanderbilt and Georgia back in January when the Longhorns maybe thought they would be avoiding the first 4 altogether. So now Texas is back at it. They are taking to the practice court here in just a few moments. Sean Miller just left the press conference here. We're going to save a lot of this sound for tomorrow when we dive in to this matchup against BYU. But here was his opening statement just a few minutes ago to media in Portland.
First things first, this really is me. There's not 2 of me. I know you might think, well, how did you get here so quickly from Dayton? But we went almost came straight from the airport. But nonetheless, we're thrilled to be here. Last night, it seems like it just ended about 10 minutes ago. And, here we are in Portland, Oregon, and ready to play BYU. But we're super, super excited about being here. There's nothing like the thrill of being in the tournament and advancing. I think there's some real confidence and togetherness and real good. Really, the way I would describe it is just like from a team-centered perspective, just a lot of good stuff that comes from in March being able to win a game, and we take that with us and move towards a big test tomorrow.
Texas tomorrow takes on BYU. Wanted to get to this note before we send it to a break and welcome in our next guest, CJ Vogel from OnTexasFootball. And that is where you can find the Longhorn basketball broadcast tomorrow. That game will be on KVET AM right here on AM 1300 The Zone. Last night, we had somebody text in on the text line, ask where was Craig's broadcast. I tried to find it to rescue me from the Chuck and Dickie podcast, Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale, that overtook the TV broadcast with Brian Anderson. Thanks. That's because the game was on KVET FM 98.1 last night. Tomorrow night, the game will be found only on AM 1300 The Zone. And the pregame coverage with Craig Way and Eddie Oren from Portland will start at 6 o'clock. Right after Bucky and BK follow this show with an abbreviated version of their program that'll be from 5 to 6. C-Pal said in the famous words of Craig Way, "It's good!" He ought to call soccer C-Pal. You know what? Maybe we'll ask him about that when we visit with him a little later on in the program. But for now, we'll take a break. And on the other side, get CJ Vogel's perspective on last night's victory. Also ask him about that unexpected loss, the setback for Texas baseball, who fell at the hands of Tarleton State at the Dish last night. You're listening on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
The madness is here. And it's all right here on the Zone. From tip-off to the final buzzer, follow Texas men's and women's basketball as they chase tournament glory. Big shots.
Heidi wide open for three, you bet.
Championship dreams.
How about Booker one more time? How about it?
Catch every minute, every highlight, every moment.
Look back, bucket, good, and he's fouled.
The madness is here. Don't miss any of the tournament action on your home for the Longhorns. AM 1300 The Zone.
We honor the biggest stars from all genres of music that you love listening to all year long.
Don't miss our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Watch live on Fox Thursday, March 26th.
Starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Trashy is a proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards. This spring, turn your closet clutter into rewards with the Take Back Bag. Learn more and get started at trashy.io.
It's Matt and Bowen here from Las Culturistas. Celebrating 10 years of the podcast, we were joined by a very special guest, Nicole Kidman. Download and listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The world's best bull riders. One shot, 8 seconds, no mercy. The rankest bulls in the sport are waiting. This is professional bull riding. Watch it live as we unleash the beast. This weekend from Indianapolis, only on Paramount Plus.
The Maps app that came with your phone? It's fine if you enjoy waiting and guessing and inefficient routes. Or you could use MapQuest. MapQuest is back with live directions, real-time traffic, and faster routes. It moves when you move. Best of all, no printer needed. No paper. No more missed turns. Just you and the app. Get there fast with MapQuest. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com. MapQuest, still getting you there.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at StraightTalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
You know who's listening to the radio? Voters. Lots of them. So if you're running for office, this right here, great place to reach them. And it's not like social media where people are just swiping through ads. With radio, they're engaged. Plus, it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Be on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
Hey, it's Howie Mandel, and I am inviting you to witness history as me and my Howie Do It gaming team take on Gilly the King and Wallow 267's $1 million gaming in an epic Global Gaming League video game showdown. 4 rounds, multiple games, 1 winner, plus a halftime performance by multi-platinum artist Travie McCoy. Watch all the action and see who wins and advances to the championship match against Neo right now at globalgamingleague.com. That's globalgamingleague.com. Everybody games.
Don't miss the 2026 iHeart Country Festival, Saturday, May 2nd at the Moody Center. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
On 35 southbound at Riverside Drive, we have some road debris that's affecting the 2 left lanes. On 35 northbound between Old Torf Street and 15th Street, got some stop-and-go traffic with a 7-minute delay. I'm Alexis with a look at your Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Cross Country. Cross Country is the sound of Americana blending country, rock, and America's greatest songwriters.
Bob Dylan and Bonnie Raitt to Chris Stapleton and Zach Bryan.
Tennessee whiskey, like a rolling stone.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Cross Country, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
It's Bucky and BK.
I chewed that bubble gum and swallowed it.
Why?
Because I was a gum swallower.
Really?
I never threw my gum away. I swallowed my gum. It was like a meal. You were never a gum swallower as a kid?
No.
Once the juice was out of mine, I'd swallow it like I just had lunch.
You were a swallower and not a spitter, huh?
That was a little weird thing I had. That and the fact that I liked the smell of gasoline when I was a kid.
Catch Bucky and BK weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on AM 1300 The Zone. Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. We cover all 40 acres.
Rolling back here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Seems like we're having, unfortunately, a couple of technical difficulties getting our guest, CJ Vogel, there on the phone. We'll continue to try and work through that. In the meantime, we can tell you that there have been some All-Americans released that we'll get to talking about here in this segment on Sports Radio AM 1300 Zone. Again, apologies for the difficulty there. We weren't able to get the phone connection in with our guest there, CJ Vogel. The All-American list in men's and women's basketball have been released, and there's a couple of worthy players to note, particularly for Texas on the women's side. The Texas women were honored in the form of Madison Booker, who is the second player now in Texas women's basketball history to earn an All-American honor 3 times in a career. After leading Texas to the SEC Tournament Championship, Booker was also named the MVP of that tournament, averaging 20 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists per game, shooting 61% from the field. She was a first-team All-American this season as named by the Associated Press, USA Today Sports, and The Athletic. Meanwhile, Rory Herman earned an honorable mention. She's, of course, the Texas career assist leader, the only player in NCAA Division I women's basketball history to reach 1,500 points, 900 assists, 600 rebounds, 350 steals. She's on the late season watch list for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award and one of 15 players, along with Madison Booker, on the ballot for the Wooden Award. So we also had the All-American teams named on the men's side, and unsurprisingly, this very, very talented freshman class was the ones making the headlines. You had Cameron Boozer from Duke, A.J. Dubonsa from BYU, and Darius Acuff Jr. of Arkansas, all named as first-team AP All-Americans. Boozer among that group was unanimous, following the steps of his Duke teammate Cooper Flagg. A.J. Dubonsa was on all but 4 ballots, and Acuff, a first-team selection on the vast majority of them. The other 2 players on the All-American first team, Yaxel Lendeborg, the 23-year-old star stretch 4 for Michigan, and JT Toppin of Texas Tech, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, who was out for the season with a torn ACL. Big loss for the Red Raiders in that aspect of things. The rest of the All-Americans on the second team, Braden Smith from Purdue, headlines a pretty Big Ten heavy group, including Jeremy Fears Jr. from Michigan State, Keaton Wagler from Illinois, another guy who has seen his stock rise rapidly over the last few days, seemingly out of nowhere. And he's joined on that second team by Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State and North Carolina freshman Caleb Wilson, another guy who is injured and out for this NCAA tournament, certainly hurting North Carolina's chances. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we will join Cameron Parker and Craig Way courtside. This is Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin area weather, mostly sunny skies for your Wednesday, a high of 80. Tonight's low 53 under clear skies. Thursday, sunshine, a high in the upper 80s, a nighttime low in the upper 50s.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Tournament time always have those late games that tip off way past your bedtime. You tell yourself you're just going to watch the first half. Then suddenly it's midnight and you're yelling at the buzzer beater like it's noon. Might as well grab another ice cold Bud Light and finish what you started, because sleep can wait, because late games always get your time. Bud Light, the official domestic beer of Texas basketball. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Right now at Steel Round Rock GMC, the road to a new GMC has never been better. You get the Steel Standard, over $1,400 in protection for free, plus huge discounts, like $13,000 off 2026 GMC 1500s or $5,000 off 2026 GMC Canyons. We've also made it easier than ever to find a vehicle to fit your budget, like a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 lease for just $249 a month, because everything we do is driven by you. Steel GMC in Round Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
The road to a national championship starts now, and every game matters. Download the new DraftKings Predictions app and make real money predictions on all the March tournament matchups. There's always something to predict. Will a one seed stay dominant? Will a Cinderella story bust brackets? Who survives and advances? Make your pick before tip-off or jump in live as the action unfolds. DraftKings Predictions is a new, easy-to-use app to predict the outcomes of sports and real-world events. Now available in California, Texas, Florida, and other states. Download DraftKings Prediction app today with code AM1300. New customers trade $5 and get 50 predictions dollars with promo code AM1300. Don't just feel it, predict it with DraftKings Predictions. The crown is yours. DraftKings Predictions is a CFTC registered introducing broker. Event contract trading involves substantial risk of loss. One per new customer. Opt-in required. Non-withdrawable predictions dollars expire in 1 year. Ends April 6, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial-free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend. All commercial-free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Yacht Rock, and make it a preset now.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Calling all nonprofit organizations. The NASCAR Day Give-a-thon is back for 2024. What's that, you ask? It's a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their local missions. By signing up for the Give-a-thon, you gain access to a national marketing campaign to build visibility and donations for your nonprofit at no cost to you. And as a bonus, special incentives and prizes will be announced along the way to help you maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today.
Text Texas, followed by your message to 81530 to chat along with your favorite sports radio AM 1300 The Zone hosts. That's Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. The madness is here. And it's all right here on The Zone. From tip-off to the final buzzer, follow Texas men's and women's basketball as they chase tournament glory. Big shots. Heidi wide open for three, you bet. Championship dreams. How about Booker one more time? How about it? Catch every minute, every highlight, every moment. Look back, looking good, and he's fouled. The madness is here. Don't miss any of the tournament action on your home for the Longhorns. AM 1300 The Zone. Longhorns football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Back to the Craig Way Show. Connect with Craig through the text line by texting ZONE to 81530, followed by your message. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Down for you, but I just can't get any relief. I've swallowed my pride for you, lived in life for you, but you still make me feel like a thief. You got me stealing your love away, 'cause you never give it. Peeling the years away, and we can't relive it. Oh, I make you laugh, and you make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly.
Yep, REO Speedwagon brings us back here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday edition of the Craig Way Show. Jake Herman in for Craig. And we're going to catch up with Craig and Cameron Parker in just a few minutes courtside as UT continues its open practice here this afternoon. We'll get you a picture on what that looks like as the Longhorns prepare to take the floor for a 6:25 Central Time tip-off tomorrow night against the BYU Cougars. By the time we start the show tomorrow, heck, we might even have some final scores with the early window of games. Ohio State and TCU tips off at 11:15, and Texas will be getting ready for that in the meantime. Okay, let's check in now courtside with Craig and Cameron. Guys, your marathon day it probably feels like one long day, right? Since you got to Dayton yesterday, got all set up to call the game. Now you've gone across the country. What's going on down there on the floor?
It's the old open practice and press conference day, Jake, for the Longhorns, for the BYU Cougars. The Longhorns are on the floor right now. They've got about 12 minutes left in their open practice. The way it works, obviously, in the NCAA tournament, for folks who aren't aware of it, when you get to the tournament, there is an open practice day. It's free. Fans can come in. There's not a lot of fans here, but I've been at some in the past, say where Duke was, where they had 8,000 fans in the stands for a free open practice day. Same thing when I've seen North Carolina in it as well. And the Longhorns going through their paces right now. They are running through a few offensive sets, some basic stuff, but basically this was about getting used to the rims and getting used to the arena, Cam, and just trying to recover a little body strength coming off of that game and the long journey out here.
No doubt, Craig. If you think about it, it's 3 different time zones in 3 days for the Longhorns. So, right now these boys got to be pretty exhausted. Texas tipped off last night about 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 7:30 local time here in Portland. Game ended about midnight. Got to the airport about 2 a.m. Eastern time. Departed at 3 a.m. departure time. Landed 7 a.m. Eastern time, so 5 o'clock here in Portland. Went to the hotel, and the guys probably got about 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, if that, before heading down for breakfast and then film and then heading here. So, tough tough turnaround for this Texas team. But you know what? I think Sean Miller and the players would take it, because that means you're in the NCAA tournament first round, and credit Tramon Mark for saving Texas, as he has now 3 times in his college basketball career. What a game last night in Dayton, Ohio, and a much better outcome than it was last year in the first 4.
Yeah, and Jake, here's the other thing. At the press conference, Tramon Mark, Jordan Pope, and Dalen Swain were all up on the dais there in the press conference, and they were asked, how much sleep did you guys get? I was shocked to hear Tramon say, 6-7 hours. I think, when did you get 6-7 hours? I mean, we were all on the same plane, and it was hard to it was a jam-packed plane. Texas Palm, Texas Cheer, Longhorn Pep Band, they're all on the plane as well. All of us, the players, the coaches, the staff, their families, some of whom had small children that woke up at various times and uttered various different things. So it was difficult to get. Nobody got a full night's rest, but for them, and I think Jordan Pope put it best. He said 5 to 6 hours sleep split up into segments. I think was the way he described it, Jake.
Craig, 3 key words for you: noise canceling headphones.
Yeah,
that's what I recommend.
Those would work.
One key word for me, caffeine. I know you guys are both coffee drinkers, but I'm sure that's been in heavy rotation today. Like you said, Craig, everyone's trying to get back up to speed, and the challenge for Texas now is getting back up to game speed quickly. But I'm not ready to turn the page on that Tramon Mark shot just yet. Cameron, Craig made sure to tell us earlier, you guys had the perfect view, right? And I saw it on your Instagram story, reposted to the Zone as well. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Your vantage point to what Tramon Mark was able to do there down the stretch.
And when he got the basketball, I think all Texas fans knew where Tramon was going. He has certain spots on the floor. And for NC State, you played him once, but it's not like you have him down to a science, and credit Tramon Mark for being able to create separation after it looked like for a moment there, after Nick Cody got the ball at the top of the key, that Texas was not going to be able to get a good look off. And I don't know if you're going to call that look a great look, but it's a look that Tramon Mark has made countless times during his Texas career. And he got to his spot, put the ball up, and put it through the net, Craig. What more can you ask for?
If it's true that Madison Booker is, as I like to call her, the mistress of the mid-range, Tramon Mark is without question the master of the mid-range.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his thing. Sean Miller and I have talked at several points about a basketball terminology called tough twos, where you almost question the intelligence and the decision-making of a guy to take a 15, 16, 17, 18-footer that only counts 2 points. Why not step a couple feet further back and launch a three? And Tramon does that. He had a couple threes in the game earlier, but he is at his most comfortable inside the arc. And that's why he said it's his favorite shot, to be able to do it, coming off a screen and be able to work he still had to kind of create his shot, but it happened as we said right in front of us. It was pretty easy to see.
And right before that, Craig, near the top of the free throw line, Mark hit another jumper that was huge. So you think about it, 2 mid-range jumpers there that weren't easy shots by any means. Without that, Texas does not win that basketball game.
Absolutely. And so I think all of that was huge, Jake, in leading to that Texas victory.
And you can hear both of those shots, guys, in the highlight montage at the beginning of the show. I know some people might be joining us now that are leaving work maybe for the last time this week. A lot of people like to take the next 2 days off. It's kind of the Super Bowl of college basketball. It'll be wall to wall from now through Sunday. It's a fan's paradise, and you guys get to be a part of that. Coverage starting at 6 o'clock right here on the Zone. Texas and BYU. It'll be probably a crowd in 2 shades of blue for the most part, given the fact that you're playing in Portland. You got BYU first up and Gonzaga in the late game.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, to your point, Jake. I have been on broadcasts of NCAA tournament games, both for Texas, even for SMU in the early 90s, and also for Westwood One on the national net. And it started for me in 1991. It never, ever, ever, ever gets old. I was thinking about this the other day. I love living a pipe and drape life. What that means is going to press conferences, and they got the curtain set up, the pipe and drape set up for the press conferences and the press conference room and all that. It's a pipe and drape life, and I like it. So I like being able to do that, and we'll do it again on Friday afternoon for the women as Texas will take on the winner of tonight's first 4 play-in game at Moody Center between Missouri State and Stephen F. Austin. Kathy Harson and I will have that call on Friday afternoon, and hopefully the men will have advanced the second round. I'll be right back up here to do the second round game on Saturday, and then back home to do the women's game second round on Sunday. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, you guys will certainly be getting those frequent flyer miles. I want to ask you about this. It might seem a little bit trivial, but late in the game, right, there was a moment where after Tramon Mark drained the shot to give Texas the lead, you saw Ryan Anderson, one of the Longhorn assistant coaches, run onto the floor almost as if to celebrate. And then Sean Miller pulled him back along with, I think, David Miller, and kind of got in his face a little bit. Is that something you guys noticed in the moment? It wasn't something I saw until well after the fact.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye when it happened in the moment. But let me add a little bit of context to that. First of all, Ryan Anderson will tell you that he regrets letting his exuberance kind of get the better of him in the moment. And Sean Miller was asked about it in the press conference a little while ago. And he said, yeah, he played for me. He's a coach. He goes, maybe he felt like he was still in the moment of play. He said, but, it was kind of caught in the moment. He said, fortunately, it did not have a negative effect on us. It would have been bad if something bad had happened to them. And he goes, and it would have been even worse for Ryan, is the way he described it, meant personally on that. In other words, if a technical foul been called. But here's for context, because I know a lot of people have been active on social media about this. Remember that when the Tramon Mark shot goes through, it's a dead ball. If NC State had immediately inbounded and with Anderson on the floor, then they would have had a case to say that. But they called timeout immediately. It was a dead ball. So there wasn't any activity, even though it all happened within the wink of an eye. The shot goes through, timeout's called because the clock stops anyway on the ball going through the net there at 1.1, and timeout's immediately called. So technically it's a dead ball, and that's why I think no technical foul was called.
And I believe, Craig, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if NC State had inbounded there and shot the ball and missed it, NC State could have appealed that because it's a flagrant foul or technical foul situation.
That's correct. They could have had they inbounded the ball. And at that point, even if you call the technical foul, they have to make 2 technical free throws at that point. And then they're inbounding with 1.1 to go. So maybe it would have headed to overtime. But again, the key word here, dead ball, key phrase. It was a dead ball situation, if only momentarily. But NC State had called the timeout. That's why it was a dead ball.
Makes sense. And obviously, if you're NC State in that moment, you're not expecting something like that. They're not necessarily at fault, right, for not realizing that and perhaps taking advantage of it. I know a lot of Longhorn fans saw that after the fact and maybe breathed a sigh of relief that it happened the way it did.
It was kind of simultaneous the way it happened. It goes through NC State's calling the timeout as Ryan Anderson leaps off the bench at that point. So it had already been awarded. The timeout had been awarded even as he's on the floor. I did see one of the Wolfpack players pointing to the bench going, hey, what's he doing? There was some of that happened.
No doubt about it. Storyline that I found pretty interesting last night, and he was asked about in the post-game press conference. We'll play it in this last segment if we have time. And that is Dalen Swain having a similar result 2 years in a row in Dayton, being on the right side of a nail-biter. Now, I know, Craig, you and I talked about Swain's kind of up and down night during the game, but I was curious, Cam, your thoughts on what the crowd was like as far as hostility towards Sean Miller and Texas with him being back in Dayton and some of the Xavier fans that even showed up.
Yeah, as we all expected, it was a very anti-Texas crowd. There was a lot of fans and a lot of Xavier fans who had showed up and were properly lubricated on a Tuesday night.
And they were really directing everything toward Sean.
Yes.
It wasn't – I heard even Dalen Swain get a round of applause when he got introduced.
Yeah, as he should have.
Yeah. It wasn't on Dalen. It was on Coach Miller when they did.
Yeah, that perhaps maybe to be expected. And I think Coach Miller kind of embraced it, which I thought was interesting to see. It was a side of him that I don't know if we've seen yet from him in Austin.
He's got a great sense of humor. And a great awareness of things.
And I think outside of social media and Twitter and the college students who may disapprove of Sean Miller's decision to go to Texas, Sean has a lot of love, and his family have a lot of love for Xavier and what they have done for that university and what the university has done back for it. So on Twitter, yeah, it seems like they all hate him the same way that Kentucky fans may hate Calipari. But I can tell you this right now, that Sean Miller has a lot of love for Xavier. And a lot of people at university still do. Now, some 21-year-old frat boy, maybe not so much, but that's how sports work.
That's true. And there were a few of those around. And as Cam said, they were properly and improperly lubricated.
Well, might not be able to say the same for the crowd tomorrow, but we'll talk about tomorrow's game when we get closer. I know you guys have got to wrap up here as the team finishes its practice window. Thanks so much for taking the time. We'll visit with you tomorrow.
Perfectly on cue. The buzzer just sounded.
Thanks, Jake.
That's called hitting the post right there. Craig Way and Cameron Parker with us courtside in Portland. We'll be back to wrap up the show here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone in a few minutes.
It's getting wild on the court, and Specs has the assist to take this tournament to a legendary new level. You know the drill. Stock up on delicious finds for every tip-off, upset, and overtime thriller. When you score savings with Specs, it's nothing but net. Don't wait for the buzzer. Run the perfect play with Specs wines, spirits, and finer foods. The lowest prices in Texas.
For over 30 years, CertaPro Painters has been part of countless memories. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You'll use the radio in your car more than anything else. When buying a new car, make sure the AM/FM is simple, clear, and convenient.
Before smartphones, there was MapQuest. Before GPS, there was MapQuest. Before Google Maps, there was MapQuest. And guess what? MapQuest is back. Now on your phone. No printer required. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Hey boys, it's Elena and Aaron from Texas's #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy, inviting you to join me and all my Rowdy Cowgirls for Blackout Fridays. We'll be wearing our sexiest black lingerie just for you.
Wash down our ribeye steak special with one of 32 ice cold draft beers while watching us and your favorite sports on our 69 big screen TVs. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy, now in Round Rock.
Rowdy Cowboy, eat, drink, bottoms up.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system,
she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
No more waiting until the morning. Nightcap with Unc and Ocho is our new evening sports talk destination with NFL legend Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, and me, Shannon Sharp. Come hang out with Unc and Ocho as we give out unfiltered take and instant reaction to the biggest games, biggest moments right after they end.
Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
As we wrap up this Wednesday edition of the program, I'll bring you a couple more sound bites from last night's win in Dayton, including that of Dalen Swain, who was asked, after beating Texas in a nail-biting victory with Sean Miller's Xavier team last year, how it felt to achieve a similar result here in 2026.
Same feeling, two great games. Two games I also didn't play my best in. I don't know if it's the arena or what, but we all kept our composure coming in the timeouts. They hit really tough shots, and Coach Miller, calmed us down like, hey, we're going to win this game, and he drew up the right things and made the right adjustments on defense. So it's really not something that I was too worried about, knowing a coach that I play for and the players around me. But it's a great feeling playing in those nail biters like that. I love it.
Part of what contributed to that great feeling for Swain is the fact that by winning, he was able to extend the careers of some of his veteran teammates. By the way, Texas, I read this stat this morning, the most experienced roster in this March Madness field. So what did that play in the back of Dalen Swain's mind during last night's win?
It's a great feeling. I always tell them that I have their backs, and tonight they had mine. I didn't play my best game, but Kendall Weaver, the most impact on the court, and then Tramon Mark, like I said, when he put that shot up, I knew it was good. And just knowing that they have my back as much as I have theirs, it's a great feeling. So I have so much confidence and have a lot of fun playing with these guys for sure. And I'm happy for them that it didn't end tonight.
A little more perspective here from the Longhorn head coach, Sean Miller. What's it like just being a part of this March Madness event? You heard Craig in the last segment talking about the way it never gets old this time of year. Sean Miller, who's taken dozens of teams to this tournament, has a unique perspective on that.
Well, I mean, I think to a large extent, it's why we all want to be a part of college basketball, to be a part of the NCAA tournament, March Madness, the incredible journey to make the tournament, which is an accomplishment in and of itself with the parity in our game, and then being able to get in the tournament and fight to advance, the thrill of advancing, and really the incredible pain with the loss. Obviously, when you're in the tournament, you experience both. Like NC State, it's tough. Those guys, they had a great season. They hit some really big shots and made big plays down the stretch. They easily could be on this podium advancing, going to Portland. But, as often is the case in this tournament, as I see it, is players make plays. And, we're here in large part because the guy, Tramon Mark, made two incredible shots. If he didn't make either of those, one of them, I don't know if we win. So, I think that's the one thing you learn. The other part is, like, if I evaluated our team's performance tonight, there's a lot that we didn't do well. But there's also times I've been in this tournament where the team that I've coached has played great and lost. The difference now is it's just about one thing. Can you stay in the tournament? Can you advance? So the fact that we were able to do it, I'm happy for our team, program, university. I'm happy for our conference, the SEC. You're in a game like tonight, you call on all of the experiences of the last couple of months. And there's not one experience that's easy in the SEC. It's like we say it all the time, there's no pop quizzes. It's straight tests, 18 in a row. No matter who you play, you have to be ready. And I think all of us enter March Madness in this tournament more prepared to battle and advance. And I'm glad we were able to do that tonight.
Some of that battle readiness was evident from the jump when Texas really came out and seized the initiative in this game. That fast start was so important because of the offensive swoon that they endured over the last 8:40 or so in the first half. I think that was the number. They made only one field goal in that stretch and started both halves a lot better than they finished them, particularly on the offensive side of the floor. Texas actually didn't hit a single field goal in the final 8+ minutes of the first half. And if not for all of the great work on the defensive glass, a few of the extra possessions that Kendall Weaver in particular helped grab during that stretch of the game, Texas could have been looking at a deficit to start the second half, despite how well they came out and played, jumping on top by 10 points with about 10 minutes to go and starting 5 of 7 from 3. As for the late game situations, there's going to be a little emphasis on press break moving into this matchup with BYU. Sean Miller was asked why he thinks his team had so much trouble breaking NC State's press down the stretch.
We did. Number one, we had 2 timeouts in and around half court. It's difficult for the coach to call timeout because I didn't look at us as being in trouble. We had to cross half court and play the game. Again, when you get into March and you're in this tournament, the magnitude of being able to advance versus not can sometimes take over a player's mind. We didn't execute as well. A couple of our timeouts, thank goodness, saved us. And credit NC State. Those guys did a good job trapping. They didn't just play straight man. They mixed it up. And they simultaneously hit shots that set up their press. So normally throughout the year, as you know, we would get the ball in, get fouled, march to the other end, and make free throws. That's something we've been really good at. We were not good at the end of tonight's game.
So one more sleep to go until Texas is back in action in a win or go home game against BYU. And by the time we hit the air tomorrow, like I said, there's going to be some March Madness games already in the books. And the first slate is a good one. It's a good way to leave off today's show by getting you ready for those first few games of the day tomorrow at 11:15. An 8-9 game starts the tournament off. I always find it cruel that they start the tournament with an 8 versus 9 game. It means half your brackets go up in smoke. I shouldn't say half your brackets because you should only have one bracket, but half of the nation's brackets go up in smoke when Ohio State plays TCU at 11:15. Just a quick little preview here. Ohio State's got a great backcourt with Bruce Thornton leading the way, one of the most efficient scoring guards in the country. TCU has been a team that forces a lot of turnovers, wreaks a lot of havoc. Their defense is really good at taking you out of your element. So we'll see in that kind of strength on strength in terms of guard play, Ohio State's offense, TCU's defense, who kind of gets the upper hand there. Then Nebraska at 12:40 on True TV, I should say 11:40 Central on True TV, goes for their first tournament win in school history. A little bit of pressure here for Nebraska, number 4 seed. All 6 of their losses were against Quad 1A teams, so they haven't necessarily had a slip like a loss to Troy might constitute tomorrow. It's because their defense is hard to prepare for. They take away the middle, which forces a lot of contested threes. That's not really Troy's bread and butter, but we'll see if the Trojans pull an upset over a Nebraska team that may be feeling a little bit of pressure to get that tournament bugaboo off their back. Then at 12:30, Louisville takes on South Florida. The Cardinals are going to be without one of their key guys, again, due to a back injury. Not expected to have Michael Brown Jr. out there. He was participating, though, a few minutes ago in Louisville's open practice. So I guess you can never rule it out, but Pat Kelsey seeming to indicate that he was doubtful for tomorrow's game. His presence would certainly help Louisville against a pretty athletic number 11 seed in USF. The Bulls are coached by Brian Hodgson, a Nate Oates assistant, and they have won 19 of its last 22 games, with 2 of those 3 losses coming in overtime and the other being just by a single point. So sometimes a good strategy looking for an upset, you pick a team that is riding high coming in. That's certainly the definition that USF falls under. Louisville, a team that lives and dies by the 3. There could be a lot of points in this particular 6 versus 11 matchup. And then you've got Wisconsin and High Point rounding out the early window. The Badgers, the number 5 seed out of the Big Ten, taking on a High Point team that loves to turn the ball over. Back in the tournament, by the way, for a second consecutive year, despite losing their coach, Alan Huss. Then, right when our show starts, around 2 o'clock, Duke and Siena, Vanderbilt and McNeese, Michigan State, North Dakota State, and Arkansas, Hawaii. It's all happening, and it's all coming fast. The madness is here. And at least for one more day, the Longhorn men are a part of it. The Longhorn women will take part in it, hosting Friday at 3 o'clock at Moody Center. So tomorrow, we'll talk all about their draw. We'll also bring you an in-depth preview of Texas and BYU. Thank you to Mark Henry, who joined us for the first half of today's show. Thank you to Craig Way and Cameron Parker checking in from Portland. And thank you to TJ Ford, lifetime Longhorn, for lending his expertise as well. I'm Jake Herman. Thanks for spending your pre-March Madness Wednesday with us. If you're leaving work and starting a 4-day vacation, boy, good on you there. Bucky and BK are next here on The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.